Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome back to our live. Tonight, we got Drew and Jake from H2 Performance on as our special guests. Before we go any further, I do have to thank our sponsors, Yankee Harley Davidson, Cape Cod Harley, and John Heyman from the Heyman Law Firm, because when you go down, they pick you up. So tonight, we're going to highlight everything about H2 Performance, where to find them, what they're offering, and what deals we can make with H2 Performance, if any. So, Drew, Jake, jump in here anytime. Tell us about H2 Performance, when you started it, and why you started it.
Well, we're missing a very key component of H2 Performance, and that's this lovely lady right here.
Well, we all know she's the brains and the beauty behind the whole operation.
Well, somebody's got to keep me in check, you know.
Exactly.
Now, Crystal, do you
H2?
Crystal, do you use a baseball bat to keep him in line?
Baseball bat? That's child's play. She keeps a BB gun in the house and shoots.
I've seen it. I've seen that BB gun personally. It's true.
And he has been shot with it.
Jeez. All right, everybody. So you know us, hellson2wheels. Down below, that's Jake. If you haven't met Jake, you need to go see Jake, especially on Instagram. Jake _ H2, or well, it's right, H2 Performance. All right. So, you guys know we're big on excellent parts, because I break everything. If it survives me, then it is an excellent part. And our big thing is suspension technologies. You know the long history with us promoting them and everything. So we decided to start our own company, basically dealing, selling, and going to rallies and installing this awesome product that will make your bike ride better, handle better, and stop, be a lot safer when you're stopping. So, crazy idea. I love it. I wouldn't do it with anybody other than this person. And then this guy right down here, that guy right there, he's a Harley version, but we'll bring him along. He made a mistake. He went to Sportsters, but he made up and switched to a Lowrider S. So
hey, everybody makes mistakes every now and again. Okay. Fortunately, mine only lasted for a year and a half, and then we finally got to the big boy bike. So we're moving up in the world, and we're gonna keep moving up with more parts, hopefully in the near future.
Now, Jake, did you get your Lowrider S from the Harley Advisor?
I actually did not. Drew was being his salty self and didn't want to come talk to me. But after I did buy it, I was introduced to Drew, and that's how we got linked up. And now we're on this adventure together, and the parts are going to start flowing.
We also took Jake for his first big ride. He did 900 miles in his first ride out of Florida with us.
Big ride was an understatement.
Hey, that's a normal day for us.
So Jammin's got jokes tonight.
Lowriders stink. Yeah.
Let me fix that. Stock lowriders stink.
Well, stock anything stinks.
Yeah, this bike is only 3 months old, but right after I bought the thing, I headed up to West Virginia with Drew and Crystal, and 900 miles the first day, and having never left the Daytona Cape Canaveral area.
So we broke him in.
Yeah,
there you go.
They pretty much became family after that. Between his snoring and her snoring, I got excellent rest. So, but yeah, everybody knows I'm all about suspension, especially those hidden gems like suspension technology. That's an excellent product made in America at a very reasonable price. So,
right in Florida.
So everything, if you don't know, if it's the first time you ever hear me talk about them, let's give you a rundown here. Suspension Technologies has a huge background in the racing industry between NHRA, NASCAR, off-road, and of course motorcycles. But they specifically focus on motorcycles and on Harley Davidson. They do make for some other brands, but we really focus on Harley because it's Harley. What else you want to ride? It's not like you want to ride a Goldwing or something,
Hey,
Hey,
Those
Unless
are
your
way
name
too
is Dallas.
comfortable.
Services future bike.
But so every part is machined in-house, hand assembled, dyno tested, and shipped out to you right in the great state of Florida, specifically Largo, Florida. There's a lifetime warranty within the first 2 years. If anything happens, we're just going to automatically, here you go, swap you out. After the 2 years, if we can't rebuild them, we're just going to swap you out because we want to make sure that we have the best customer service in the industry because we know we're building the best product in the industry.
Right on. Which brings me to a question. How often does that suspension have to get rebuilt? Like the rear shocks?
Every 100,000 miles.
100,000 miles. Okay, so once in the bike's life.
So how we accomplish that is because we do low pressure over a triple valve system. So it's a lot of like off-road racing style. That's why they're really smooth. You have good travel and good control. Where a lot of people in the market use high pressure gas over like what's the best way to say it? A lower quality flex plate valving. So it's not as smooth in the control in the ride. Or you got the opposite and it's real spongy. So
Gotcha. So that's awesome. That 100,000 miles before a rebuild, because I believe other brands, I'm not going to say their name, but Olin's, I think they're a 50,000 mile rebuild schedule. And at 50,000 miles, you're going to take your shocks off, send them down to Olin's, have them rebuild them, send them back so your bike's down, or you put the stock stuff back on and ride the suck for a while.
Right.
So with suspension technologies, that's not even an issue, which is great. That's good information. That's good to know. So if somebody wanted to buy suspension technologies, I'm going to say go through H2 Performance. And what's your website?
So come Monday, it's going to be rideh2.com. If you go on tonight, you can look at the h2performance.com. But we had a very smart person with marketing. It's like, hey, it's a little long. How about Ride H2? I was
Would
like,
that be this pretty young lady sitting to your right?
No, we actually are hiring a lady that is helping us with some web design and all of that.
Yeah, it's great. One of those things, we're very fortunate with the relationships that we've built over the years. And she has worked with several top name products in the industry. And, because of relationships and friendships, she's really on board helping us get this off the ground. So she has a lot of experience, with branding and, make things user friendly. That was my big thing. Make it simple for people to go look at the stuff and check stuff out. Buy it.
And hopefully, I actually haven't discussed this with him or the marketing girl, but I just thought of it. It was just an idea.
Breaking news, everybody.
Hopefully we'll talk to her about when we do figure out what our rally schedule is going to be, we can put that up on the website.
Oh, that was discussed.
Oh, well, they discussed it and now I just thought of it.
There you go.
So, see how this works.
Suspension technology, they have two different shocks available, right?
Yeah, you have Black Hill series, which is an excellent shock. What it's focused on is more your everyday riding or your I'm not putting anybody down, but your guys are not trying to push the bike to the limits. big horsepower or riding crazy or anything like
It's
that.
more for a comfort ride.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way. A nice comfort ride through the mountains.
So that's something I'd want to put on my Road Glide over the other series, which is the RT, which is the race technology, correct?
Yes. But so the RTs has been in what do you want to say, a collaboration for a long time, because I'm a little crazy and I come and say, hey, I need this, and this, So they finally built what he calls the RT series. And, we have some people that's already bought off of us and installed, and we talked to them. And the funny thing is all of us tried to figure out a way to explain what the RT series does without it sounding bad, because it's stiff, but it's not stiff. You feel everything, but you don't feel it.
Right. And now the Bronze Chicken has the RT on it, correct?
Yes, he got the full RT package, front cartridges and rear shocks.
So I've rode on the back with the Black Hills and the RT. The difference with the RT, I would say, is even as a passenger, I can feel more road feedback. It's not bad. You don't feel like you're bottoming out or huge thuds or nothing like that. You just feel more of the road.
Yeah, you get more feedback of your road conditions. Of a great way, if anybody's come from the sport bike world, that's the best way to explain how it's working. Like,
gotcha.
It's real smooth, but yet you can feel everything.
Nice. So could you mix and match the Black Hills front to like the RT rear or vice versa, or is that not recommended?
I'm actually doing that right now because I had that question.
Okay.
Right. What will it do? Because just like guys like you that's in it, you're going to ask that question. Do I need to buy both of them, or can I get a buy with this and that? Especially when it comes to budget builds and stuff like that. You can. All right. I do not recommend putting the RT front with the Black Hills rear. You can get by with the Black Hills front and the RT rear, but here's the problem you're going to have. The only place I've had this problem is on concrete highways or bridges, because of the spring rates on the two different series. You get this little seesaw effect.
Okay. And traveling at speeds that you and I ride at, that is not a very good nor safe thing.
No. But if you're on a normal road, normal riding and everything, it works just fine. Like, I pushed the crap out of it and it works just fine. No wobbles, no nothing. But it's just that you get in certain road conditions where you have the brakes in the concrete, like on bridges and stuff like that. That's where you get that seesaw, because the spring rates are different.
Yep. So jamming
I've even tuned the rebound and stuff, took a lot of it out, but there's nothing you're going to do when you don't have matching spring rates, because the bike's not working together.
Right. They're working at two different frequencies as far as buoyancy against the road surfaces and things like that. Now, if you live in Milwaukee or any place that has concrete highways, concrete roads, then you want to have a match set. I would always recommend that you get a match set and not intermix spring rates, because you do run into these problems. But someone might ask, can I just put the race tech in the rear and leave the stock front, or should I do both? And I'm always going to tell people it's depending on your budget, but if you do both at the same time, you will definitely get the full benefit of that suspension. Where if you just do one or the other for now, you're not going to see much of a big difference, if any difference at all.
Right. It will ride a little better. It won't be hard on you, but you don't have that drastic change that you do when you do both front and back at the same time.
Yeah.
You know, because as all the components are working together and working properly, that's why it's a completely different change. But in that sense, I don't recommend putting RT fronts in with the Black Hills rear because where the RTs will kind of keep the bike pushed backwards.
Mm-hmm.
It won't actually sit down. So
as far as weight transfer goes, for like hard launches and things like that, you want to still have the same.
Yeah, dude. Let me tell you what, these RTs. Oh my gosh! Like, well, you want to talk about launches? So it was a huge difference when I changed from the Black Hills. Black Hills did great. You know, I could launch on somebody and still put it to them. But dude, putting the RTs on, oh my gosh, that thing was like shooting a bullet out of a gun.
Yeah, because right now, if I launch moderate on my lowrider S, do a moderate launch, that thing comes right up to 1 o'clock in second gear from a standstill. And and I know it's the suspension, the stock suspension on there, and I got that as stiff as it could go. And I've tried it as soft as it could go, and I've tried all the different ones. That thing will stand right up, and I know it's the suspension that's hindering my launch speed or my launch torque.
Yeah. So when it comes to that stuff, what you want something that's going to transfer weight backwards and rebound slow. You don't want it to spring back fast,
Right?
Because you want it to release like at least 100 to 150 feet out there. You want it to slowly come back and be released and start to set down
Mm-hmm.
because you want everything back there to get as much traction as you can.
Right. So the RT is the shock I'd want for my Softail.
Well, the Softail is a whole different ballgame. So I heard word on the street. Yep, on the street.
Hey Ray, I hate to step on your toes, but breaking news.
Breaking news. That's right. You didn't see it on RNN. You saw it on Dr.Harley. So the word is on the street that the M8 Softail suspension tech setup will be released next month.
Okay.
And once we know for sure, I'm going to, of course, we have the H2 Performance YouTube channel. I am going to do a big release live and go over that whole thing.
Yep.
Talk about all the components, how it works. Talk about how to install, what to look, what little tips and tricks. Because we've had it on and off so many times, we kind of can do it blindfolded now.
Because her bike was the guinea pig for the test bed of that suspension, which some person without a soul liberated that bike.
Yeah, I'm really upset that I don't have one to ride right now. It's really upsetting.
It's disgusting, actually, that happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had the prototype for suspension technologies on it, and I've probably been riding it for about a year and a half now.
Well, actually, you've had two different prototypes in that bike.
Right.
So I know a lot of you guys didn't know that I've been riding that for a while.
I knew. See, that's the inside information, guys. When you get out and actually meet and hang out with people, you get this inside track that you're not allowed to put out. And I never put it out till tonight.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the M8 Softail is a completely different design.
Okay.
Because it was finding that fine balance between a smooth ride and not being soft, not being spongy.
Gotcha.
Because like the first prototype we had, dude, well, I could get that thing out of shape so fast.
Yeah.
And that's not
told
good.
him that
It's
there-
fun,
Yeah,
but it's not good.
told him there was told him about we're not liking this part of it and stuff. So we tried to give, as much feedback as we could.
And this is what I love about Mike. This is what I love about this company. Even as a customer of you, if you ride a thing for a while and you call them up and say, it's not really doing this or not really doing that, all this stuff's buildable. If you get to the point you know exactly what you want, if you want something changed, we can take that shock and we can make it exactly what you want.
Awesome.
And
That-
he actually likes hearing what people like and don't like about his product. I mean, like a phone call or through Drew or something. He's not opposed to listening to what could make his product better.
Gotcha.
Which is excellent as a manufacturer, as a owner,
Yeah, it is.
Because
And I was hanging out with Mike a little bit there in Milwaukee. He was up there, Peanut was up there, and at House of Harley, and they're good people. They really are.
they are.
Oh yeah.
Mike is full of knowledge. That's for like the last 3 years, that's the guy that's been teaching me about this stuff. And it's to the point that I can be like, all right, Mike, at this speed, this RPM, this gear, this is what I'm having. And he can literally go, take a quarter turn out of, a quarter turn out of the left side. Like I've seen him watch a video, show him a video, and be like, we're trying to get this out of it. Well, I'm talking about like launching and stuff like that. And he can literally watch that bike on that video and be like, all right, give me a turn and a half in the rebound and go up, 3/4 of the turn on the spring. And he will gain you so much time. That's he's been doing for so long that's how much knowledge he has.
So he's a suspension tuner and a pit crew.
Yeah.
That's
so not
awesome.
only can he give you a great ride, the product can give you a great ride as an everyday rider. But if you're wanting to get in this performance stuff and you're wanting something to really get down the street, we can build you that too. So
Awesome.
Also, should we address the reservoir question?
yes. All right.
You got to address it because it's going to be out there.
Yep. You beat me to it, Crystal.
So as I get asked all the time, well, you don't have the remote reservoirs, you don't have this, you don't have that. They're cool. They have their spot. I'm not going to dog them. You got the cool factor. There is a place for that product. But most of the time you see it, it's not for the application that it's supposed to be used for. It's used for track conditions, because anybody that's been in the race world and racing knows your track conditions can change hour by hour. So you need to be able to adjust on the fly or fine tune something because there's a certain corner or a certain straight stretch that you just need it to work better. Every rider, most of them will either not know how to tune them or they'll get them tuned and never touch them again in their life.
Yep.
And what else are they used for?
Coolness.
Door prop. Door.
No, isn't the purpose of it to cool the
Well, yeah, you be able to flow the oil in a longer distance to allow it to cool. You don't get the boiling effect when you have the remote reservoirs.
But you don't, as a everyday rider, even if you're on a performance bike, you don't necessarily need that.
Right. Now, Drew and I, we've talked about this a few times. Like, I'm one of those riders. I have the remote reservoirs. They don't stick out like a sore thumb. Said, look at me. They're actually hidden up where they're supposed to be, out of the way, where they get the best cooling and everything. But I have a setting for what's just myself. for rebound and compression. I have a setting for it's my wife and I riding 2 up, and then I have a setting for when we're loaded up and we're headed down the road for a rally or something with all of our luggage. This way, I have that Cadillac soft ride, or when it's just me, I have that sport ride. And there's a lot of people who don't take the time to do it. For instance, this bike here, he's got remote reservoirs. I guarantee you they are set exactly where I put them in the neutral position, which is halfway on his rebound and compression, than when I put him on a year and a half ago. I guarantee it. He doesn't touch it.
Well, that's what I was getting to. Majority of people that buy them. I'm not saying everybody. They get them put on and they just ride them. Whatever it was when they installed it, that's the way it worked. Or, like I said, they'll have them professionally tuned. Because I'll tell you now, the suspension tech, or we're working around or something, we have people come in and we're not against other products. So if you stop by and say, "Oh, this is not working right," we've tuned them for people because we understand how they properly work. Do we want to sell them our product? Yeah, but at the same time, it goes back to that customer service thing. Help the people out. We want to be the best in customer service along with an excellent product.
Yeah.
And maybe one day we'll have them. I mean, it's not off the table. But
as a business, you want to carry more than one product.
Right. For whoever wants it.
Right.
Wants what? And of course, people ask you your opinion. You're going to give them your opinion, which is better for your money, which is the best bang for your buck. But if someone's stuck on Olin's, or they're stuck on Fox suspension, or they're stuck on Legend suspension, you're not going to sit there and say, if you're a dealer for them, you're not going to sit there and say, well, I'm sorry, I'm not going to help you because you don't want this. No, you're going to sell them what they ask for.
No, I've helped. I'll be upfront with people. I've recommended other shocks before, but the application they were trying to do, I knew we didn't have the right product. I've ran so many different brands, different setups. I knew that a certain setup was what would work best for them.
Right. So you're more about, customer service, educating the customer. And if you make the sale, you make the sale. And if you don't, you don't.
Yeah, just hopefully they'll be willing to send somebody to me, be like, hey, go talk to this guy. He'll help you out. Or, you know what I mean? It's more. There's enough pie for everybody.
Yep.
We just need to help each other out.
Yep. And you sit there, you don't want to sell somebody something they don't need nor want just to make the sale, because then you create a bad name for yourself.
Yep. But I will put the RTs against a remote reservoir any day.
Because that is the remote reservoir right now is a staple for all and any performance bagger out there.
Let's just say there's some guys that are probably some of the best grudge racers in the world. They don't run that stuff. They have suspension tech on their bikes.
Because I was looking at the Wyman Brothers road bikes for the King of the Baggers, which spools up all the performance bagger stuff. And they're running remote reservoirs, but they have their pit crew and their engineers that they give them feedback, and then they come in for a pit stop and make that adjustment. They're using the shock the way it's designed to be used, and optimizing their lap times. Where people like us who don't worry about lap times and track position and things like that, I don't care personally.
Right. Yeah, you're talking. I mean, you're talking two completely different worlds. They have a guy that's specifically there as a suspension expert. That's it. That's his only job. is to make sure the suspension works correctly and does what it needs to do and help them out.
Yep.
So, but you're also talking about guys that are taking turns on a bagger on a track at 120, 130 mile an hour.
Yep. Pulling,
You know,
6 to 7 negative G's in a corner,
right.
which none of us, I'm going to say it, none of us do, because one, we don't have the road conditions. We don't have the tires. We don't have the suspension, nor do we have the bankroll behind it to sit there and say, okay, crash the bike. Let's fix it for next weekend.
Yeah.
Nope.
So, Doc, that may be true, but I have personally seen Drew attempt to do every bit of that on a street. And those RT shocks, they really just hold him in. And some turns that we hit that he's riding all the way on the outside, he's just digging through them and booking it on out.
See, Blue still loves his suspension. He had his done up in Laconia by Mike and Peanut at Suspension Technologies.
Let's just be truthful. Peanut did it.
No, yeah.
I love Peanut. He's crazy. I love him.
Yeah, I think he did it in like record time or something.
So I know that we are going to 100% try to be set up at Sturgis next year. Not sure where at, but that is definitely our big one that we want to try to do. We're currently trying to get a spot at Bikes. I always say it wrong. Bikes, Blues, and
Barbecue.
Barbecue. Yeah, I always call it something else.
No, being bike beards and brews. Yeah.
I can't get it straight.
Yes.
It's too many B's.
Yeah.
Listen,
So,
barbecue's the best part of the whole name.
So we're trying to get a spot there this year, if at all possible. It's a goal. Sturgis. I know Mike talked to us about potentially doing House of Harley next year. And we'll see what else we can pop up on the schedule that we'll try to be at.
I tell you, it'd be good if you guys could, or Mike could get into Gettysburg, because there's no suspension people there.
We talked about that. Me and her talked about Gettysburg next year, because we were also looking for like some smaller good rallies to go to. And I was like, how about Gettysburg? There's a lot of people who goes to Gettysburg. So
yep. And like I said, you have air suspension there, and that's it.
Air rides for semis, and I'll say that all day long.
Yep.
And show bikes. They're good for show bikes.
And semis.
But to ride every day, I'm out on it.
Here's my thing on air ride.
Everybody tries to talk me into air ride because I'm short. And I'm like, there's no way. There's absolutely no way. With the distance that we like to do, I can just see it going out, and then we've got a massive problem and that I don't want to deal with.
Yep. Now, here's my thing on air ride. Last year, when we were having dinner in Lincoln, New Hampshire, which is roughly about an hour ride from Laconia, guy just had his air ride suspension done on his trike. And we're talking, and he's, gets on his bike, fires up, hits the air ride up, and wouldn't you know it, either a line or a bag blew right there, and the whole bike hit the ground. Now he had to get it back to Laconia to get it fixed.
Yeah, that's it. It's just, it becomes a big problem.
This is for DDK. He asked if we had any stock with us.
Here you go, DDK.
We'll do it on the street corner. Just make it look like some real gangster shit.
There you go. So what is the set of the standard shocks run?
$775.
Which is cheaper than the Legends because those are like $800 for just a regular Legends, Legends Evos, which just has the compression adjustments. Those are $900. And if you wanted the remote reservoir with your rebound and compression adjustments, you're at $1,500, and that's just for rear
So,
shocks.
so of course you can do your spring load on this, but you also have a rebound screw right here, just like the Revo Ace, right? 850s for RTs. You know what? Let's see. After this goes live, I'll put a promo code up. Dr.Harley, 10% off.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah. We'll do that. I think that puts it around with the 10% off. It depends on your tax rate and stuff. Most people were like $831 out the door. Free shipping. So
Now you take Visa, MasterCard, American Express.
Hold on. So reminder, Ride H2 will not be live. We're hoping on Monday, but right now you can go to the H2 Performance, and on the website we have financing options.
Yep.
Where you can make payments to as well.
Yeah, we have the easy payment stuff.
Is that through like a firm or through another?
It's through Square.
Oh, okay.
But there's multiple ones I think that you can choose from.
Yeah. Pretty much, we'll take money either way.
Yep.
But we just want to make sure that everybody knows that our website, there are payment options.
That's awesome. But if somebody wanted to pay, you could take Visa, MasterCard, American Express,
Oh,
Discover.
yes, absolutely.
Nice. And it's a direct ship to the customer.
Correct.
And if somebody is not in, let's say, close to a rally, close to you guys, or close to Suspension Technologies down in Florida, where can they go to have them installed if they don't have the knowledge, the skill, or the availability to install these?
All right. So they just can get in contact with us to let us know where they're at, and we can, we can send them to an approved installer. So everybody knows Doc Harley is an approved installer. So get them from us. Go over and have Doc put them on for you.
Yep. Right on.
And if you're down Florida on the East Coast, OF Performance is an installer.
Yep. And OF Performance, guys, they are a new shop there in Ormond Beach, correct?
Yep.
But the guy's been in business for years and has years of experience wrenching on bikes and everything like that.
Yeah. So we actually, this is where it gets kind of confusing, but I'll put it out there. So we're actually also partnering OF Speed and Development, OF Performance stuff. It's in Ormond Beach, right across from the Beaver Bar. Literally, if you can, Beaver Bar, Boot Hill Saloon, and
mile from Destination Daytona?
Yeah.
Yep.
Right there on US 1. I mean, right on the side of the road. But down there, we do performance builds. We do custom builds, powder coating, of course, dyno tuning. I mean, basically, when it comes to it, we can build it down there.
Just bring a stack of cash, a dream and a desire, and they'll build it for you.
Anybody knows anything about building bikes, it's not cheap.
No. And of course, it's a ton of work. You just can't buy parts and throw it together like that company that used to be in Orange County, New York, and call it a custom chopper, but we were not going to say their name.
Yeah, cake decorators.
Yep. And
But the cool thing about this is, so there's a lot of aspects to that business. I don't really want to take away from H2, what we do and what we can do for you, but in the same sense, with OF Performance, we also, if you guys haven't seen Tap It Right covers, we carry them with H2 Performance. So Tap It Right is a product of OF Performance. We
Designed and manufactured.
designed and manufactured in-house. We have CNC machines. We do that's what I'm saying. We have a lot of capabilities in the house.
So what you're talking about is the Tap It blocks on the M8s?
Yep, the Tap It blocks. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, instead, what I'm talking about. Instead of using the Tap It collars, you actually had the Tap It block. I was going to bring it. I ran off and forgot it because I was actually going to
Give me a second. Give me a second. I'm going to grab the stock ones that I have on the shelf here that I show everybody.
Right.
Hold on.
And that's why he's doing that. Everybody knows that we carry it. We carry it. It's called Tap It Rights. What it's for is a lot of problems you have is the actual bolt at the Tap It cover, Tap It holder. Yeah. Collar. They'll actually break when you try to take them out and do stuff. And that's where the necessity of this block came from, is because of that bolt breaking. Well, in more of the design, it became stronger with the Tap It block versus the Tap It cuff. Plus, we can do cool colors. You want red, blue, black, gold, bronze, special color. Hit us up.
And it's got a different design.
Yeah.
It gives you a little performance flair to your bike.
Do you actually have the Tap It cover?
Actually, I do have one. Let me grab it.
Because I'll have him show you the stock Tap It cover, and I'll give you a little insight of what makes ours even better than that.
All right. So the Tap It cuffs he's talking about, right from Harley Davidson. I've talked to engineers in in Laconia and in Milwaukee about the design and cheapness of plastic parts within the Milwaukee 8 motors. Now, this is actually inside your motor, and these are the Tap It cuffs we're talking about. What these are anti-rotational cuffs that keep your lifters from rotating. On your twin cam, it was a steel bar, which worked great. Then for the M8s, they went to plastic. And S&S and Fueling and now OF Performance make aluminum ones that are billet aluminum, and they replace the plastic. And I've seen now bikes that are out of warranty where these have broken, the lifter has rotated, and because of that, we're replacing the lifters, the Tap It cuffs, the oil pump, the cam plate, the cam, and you could reuse the push rods, but the whole cam chest has to get replaced because this failed and tore up your lifter and everything. And that's, this is why I keep this old stock part around to show people when they're doing a stage 2 on an M8, or they want to make their motor a little more bulletproof for riding, cross country or things like that. This is something I highly recommend, this and the intake manifold. Now, the Tap It cover he's talking about is right here.
All right. So you see how the top of the Tap It cover is kind of like they're about the same height to be able to put your push rods through.
Yes.
Right? How it sits on there.
Yep.
So what we did, we actually stair stepped it so it's easier to get the push rods in and out if you want to do a one-piece push rod.
Okay. That's
so
cool.
It's not, yeah.
So with that comes a longer push rod tube. Gotcha. That's cool. And speaking of powder coat, I just got these back today with a whole bunch of other parts for my Road Glide.
So we have our standard collars and one of them that's not a standard collar is the ST bronze. We added that to our standard collars, but we can do any collar. You just have to talk to us so we can quote it out to you. But we can, and we do all that in house too. We actually have a room that is a powder coat room that you walk into during their powder coat and doing everything. So
can I tell you what? I'll go check our stories and I'll make sure to put the Tap It Right on our stories so that if people are curious about it or want to look at them, they can go check it out.
Plus it's got the cool factor. You can just make it different colors, make it all cool. So
yeah, they're basically another layer, right? That goes under this.
Yep.
Instead of having the one bolt, it has the 4 bolts that hold it together. So correct me if I'm wrong. I've seen them, advertised. I think it was a different manufacturer. Am I wrong?
That was a different manufacturer because we hold the patents to it. We've been fighting this. Well, actually, we've been fighting this past week because we've got some people trying to copy.
Well, good luck with that with China.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, so basically, like that cover, you see the bottom of it. So you have the little raise on the bottom. Did we just freeze?
No.
Yeah, all right. You got the little. If you turn it sideways. Yeah. So you got the little raise on the bottom, right? Yeah. So that'd be your plate. And then we make our own covers that go on top of that.
Okay.
So you can make bottom a certain collar to cover a certain collar. Your push tube and your collars, color match how you want to do everything.
Nice. So you could do 2 different colors. In other words.
Yep.
So you could do, let's say if I wanted this part, the green and the rest of it black, I could do that.
Yep.
Nice.
And it's real clean looking. Like it looks good.
Here, if I put up a picture.
I'm going to answer, Tiger, I'm going to answer this for you real quick.
Can you see it there?
Yep.
That's an example of it.
That's an example. And then you can make them different colors.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Tiger asked. Yep. That's awesome. Now, Tiger asked, what's the difference between a good powder coater and an excellent powder coater? Well, the difference is a good powder coater will put powder down and bake it. And most of the time, there'll be no blemishes. An excellent powder coater will will sit there and prep the part, powder it, bake it, cure it, and there's never any fish eyes, no dust, no wrinkles, no nothing. That's the difference between a good powder coater and an excellent powder coater.
Yeah, I'm not taking any away from actual powder coating process, but the people that spend more time prepping end up with a better product.
Exactly.
Because
and you can also just buy those in the raw metal and have them done any color you want.
Yeah.
So you can buy them in raw. You don't have to.
Yep.
And then you just get them to match your bike.
Yep. I mean, I did the green to match the Envious Green Fade on the Road Glide. And I took a body part off to the powder coater, and they literally have thousands of different samples that you could use. And this is actually a 2-step process. It's an illusion green crab apple is the color. And the illusion is that when they put the powder down, it was orange. And then when they put the clear on it, then it became green. It's kind of interesting when I was talking to my powder coater today about it.
Yep. And you can get the Tap It Right stuff from us from H2 Performance. We know a guy. We'll help you out.
Gremlin wants to know how will it affect gasket seals. As long as your mating surfaces are clean, it won't affect it at all. You just have, with yours, there's the second gasket.
Well, it comes with all the gaskets in the kit. When you purchase it from Tap It Right, it comes with the gaskets in the kit, ready to go.
Right on. Now, do they come with new bolts for that as well? Because I'm sure you're going to need longer ones. No, you use the same length one. Right on.
That's the big thing, is making sure that you can reuse some stuff. So
Nice. So, Jake, what do you think about all this?
Well, Doc, this is big thing for me. As Drew mentioned earlier, I'm still fairly new into the world of Harleys, but boy, did I dive right off the deep end. And I guess that could even be a little bit of an understatement. But man, the industry is going to be a cool thing to get into, and just hanging out with Drew and Crystal and at the shop at OF. Man, there's so much knowledge around. I'm looking forward to getting the parts in action on my own bike, and just really putting it to the grindstone like these guys do.
Nice. Now, I'm gonna forewarn you. If you ask Drew, what can you do to get more power out of your bike? It's going to be very expensive.
That's what I've come to gather real quick. And you mentioned those plastic parts. Gosh, I already got burned with the plastic on those M8s. While we were up in West Virginia, my oil cooling line for the number 2 actually cracked and was just spraying oil down the side of my bike.
Yep. What's neat is you talk about the oil coolers. What I saw when I was at Milwaukee is they had the new 121R motor on display, and how our oil cooler lines bolt into the heads with 2 bolts, 2 O-rings.
Yep.
The new ones are just a threaded nipple into the head.
Man, see, and I'm really hoping to see a better solution come out. I did find one, and it's a bunch of braided lines and AN fittings for $900.
Oh,
yeah, I feel like that's a little hefty for some
braided lines and AN fittings.
Yeah, that kind of turned me off real fast. So I'm hoping before too long we can maybe, 900 for like some billet options. I would be okay. Maybe we're getting a little closer there, but
So is he asking, can we make the Tap It Right covers in stainless?
I think so.
I mean, if he's asking that, it's all about money.
Yeah.
You got the money, we'll build it.
I tell everybody else, what can you do with my bike? I said, well, if you got enough money, I'll put it on the mood.
Yeah.
See,
that's really what people need to just realize is, it's not what you want, it's what your budget wants.
Yes.
So
it's not expensive. Oh man. Now, when I was in Milwaukee, I ran across a really cool company, has a really cool concept. I dug it. It's called Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde exhaust. They're slip-on mufflers, and you can electronically change the note of your exhaust. With a press of a button, they're quiet as stock. You hit the button, and then they have a pretty decent note to them. They're not very loud, but it's much louder than stock. And I thought it was cool and everything. And they're actually going to be sending me a set of mufflers for my Road Glide to put on and do a video on. I think that's pretty cool. But I mean, you talk about all the money, you're talking $3,000 for slip-ons.
You know how much power I can make for $3,000?
Yeah. Well, they're made for stock bikes. And the cool thing is, if you're somewhere where they're very decibel sensitive with bikes. Cop pulls you over. You press the button. He says, your bike is extremely loud. He says, let me start it and we'll see. And he says, what are you talking about? The cop will think he's hallucinating. Okay, Mike's talking
Sounds
about
like it's
stainless
good for
oil.
HOAs.
Yeah.
We used to get in trouble for that in
Yep.
Port Orange all the time.
Not with Blue Spade.
No, it was actually prior to when we had
I had the 128 build
yeah, but you had what pipe on it? The
D&D.
yeah. And that cop would get so mad. He would tried pulling Drew. It was already stopped dropping Cyrus off his skull.
I was sitting parked on the side of the road, off the bike, because I would take our son to school and I was putting his helmet back in my bike. And a cop pulls up behind me with the lights on because he got noise complaints about this bike in the neighborhood. It wasn't even running.
Well, hey, you can't miss that bass boat.
Oh, you're calling it the bass boat now too?
The performance bass boat.
Hey, you got to get from one side of the lake to the other to catch the fish, right?
Hey, I am in Tennessee right now. I should go get me a Tennessee hat so I can look like Bill Dance while I ride around here.
There you go.
Hey, so Mike said for $150, I'll just be straight with you, Mike. It'll cost you $150 just me turning a light switch to the shop. Because apparently he hasn't priced out stainless steel lately.
Yeah, it's
that's the side that we're starting to see is what raw material costs. Here's the thing: quality raw material. You can get raw material, but getting quality raw material is ridiculous right now.
yeah.
After being after being on this side of it a little more and seeing the backside, I mean, Harley shit's expensive. It's ridiculous about how much stuff costs, but I also understand why it is the price it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just the cost of producing it. It's, because you have overhead with that. You have, the building, you have payroll, you have taxes, you have research and development, engineering and everything. All that costs adds up over time. And companies are in business to make money, not to break even, because if they break even, then they might as well close up their doors.
Right. What's a good saying? As long in this industry, as long as you can make a living, you're doing good. So,
Stubb says, "What's up?"
Well, the bass are biting pretty good right now. I had that old Evermood cranked up. I put another 10 horsepower in her.
Oh, by removing the belt rope?
Yeah, I'm removing my belt card. 10 more horsepower.
And Dallas says, "You've never looked any better with your Tennessee gaudy orange hat."
Oh, jeez. What's that? What's that movie? Yeah, it's a football movie. Don't
ask me. I'm not.
Yeah. Oh, The Blind Side. Where that chick that was helping the kids, oh, good, that gaudy orange. When he was talking about going to Tennessee, that gaudy orange.
I'll have to get a nice orange tee to slap on Blue Spade.
Well, I think you're going to have to take a heck of a road trip to put anything on Blue Spade right now.
Anything to get more miles on the bike.
Hey, that's the spirit.
Yeah, he's got the bug now. After this trip, he's got the bug.
Yes.
Well, I told him when we left, either you'll decide long distance riding's not for you, or you're gonna fall in love with it. One of the two.
Yep.
Yeah, that first trip was. I can tell you, there's a lot of things about those bikes that are not good for long distance riding. Because my bike is completely stock. I had just bought it 2 months prior to going, and all I've got on it right now is a sissy bar for a backpack, and I did some ammo can saddlebags for a little extra space, and yeah, the seat has got to go. Everybody knows that stock Harley seats are the worst.
I would say
Yeah,
the Stevio seats aren't that bad, to be honest with you.
Yeah, but Doc, you need to give this kid some credit. He did, yeah, stock seat, stock bar, stock suspension
Yep.
900 miles.
in one day.
Just the
In
first
one
day. It was a little over 2,300 miles round trip from Cape Canaveral to West Virginia and back.
So Gremlin wants to know, what are the H2 shop hours?
Well, the website's open 24/7.
Yep.
Everything else is by appointment only.
There you
So,
go. And
And I guess
contact Drew or Crystal or Jake. Make your appointments.
Yep.
the only thing else that I can say is, like, if we happen to be in your area and you contact us and we can make some type of arrangements, maybe we can meet and put them on or something like that. Contact us, because so if you don't know, we are no longer going to be in Florida. The next 3 months, we will be just outside of Dayton, Ohio.
Okay, so you let it out of the bag.
Yep.
I'm not doing shady shit with you.
We weren't doing shady shit. I'm offering for you to go put some shots on people's bikes. Get the work, baby.
Get to work, make that money. So is the Harley advisor done?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Sure.
Maybe Harley Advisor might go into retirement. I don't know.
We'll see.
Actually, I was surprised how many people watched the reels and followed the Harley Advisor. Be straight with you.
Why? I mean, they were good. They were to the point. They were about new products. Some good burnouts on customers' bikes, brand new.
Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did it on your bike, didn't I, Jake?
Yep. We did it at Miracle City bike night.
Yeah, that was the bike night I got us kicked out.
That was that was the week before we went up there.
We had one bike night there, and they kicked us off the property
because of my burnouts.
Because of your hooligan shit.
Yeah.
And we gave them a heads up.
Hey, look, if you can't be gangster, don't try.
The second location was like, hell yeah. I mean, I filled the bar up with smoke. And they were like, yeah.
That's our kind of place.
Yeah. Yeah, they got to the point we were having such a good time.
Yeah, exactly. So basically, you bought a bike, Jake. You handed the keys to Drew. Mistake number one. Because after that, you had to buy a brand new tire.
Yeah, well, so ironically enough, you're actually not wrong about that, but it actually wasn't because of Drew. He did say, "Hey, let me do a burnout," and I whipped the keys out, and there we went. He took the slick off of the tire for me, but right after we got back from that West Virginia trip, I hit something on my way into work and popped the tire. So
not that you left, 8,000 miles of rubber in one spot.
Nope, not because of that at all. But Ray asked me how I enjoyed the country and the mountains. But, dude, Florida sucks for riding.
Yes,
it's great for drag racing because that's all there is here is long straight roads. But until you get into the mountains and actually learn to ride curves, because I've only been November will be 2 years that I've been riding. So I really did go head first into this whole thing. Getting the opportunity to go ride up through Maggie Valley and Pigeon Forge, the Talon up in West Virginia, a little bit of the Hellbender in West Virginia, riding through all those places as a fairly new rider is unprecedented compared to anything that you could ever find in Florida if you can find it.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, it's a little late, but if you're riding through West Virginia, you hear banjos, throttle up.
That's what I've heard, and fortunately, I avoided all the banjos. But
Oh
we
no,
did
you were
get
right in the middle of it. You just became friends with them.
Yeah.
Well, okay, that's true. We did have a good old time.
Boy, sure got a pretty mouth. He got all them teeth. So, Riding on 3 has a good question for you. What are the trike shocks considered? Are they the DH or RT performance wise?
They are neither. This is like coming back towards like the M8 Softail stuff. They're specifically designed for that trike. All right. So a lot of R&D went into it because the big complaints with the trike is being able to handle it and stability. Right. Because they're hard to steer, and when you're going around turns and stuff, the stability of the trike. So these were specific. The trike shocks were specifically R&D and built for a trike. So it's not a Black Hills, it's not an RT. It's a straight trike shock, and that's why we build them they're taller shocks too. Because a lot of people, you can get better. You can drive them better with the rear end picked up. So a lot of people will put lifts on them. Well, you don't have to do that with suspension tech because we've already made them that length. So you're not putting a weak point like a lift block or anything in there. You're doing it properly when you're adding a set of suspension tech shocks.
Gotcha.
Great question.
That's a perfect question. Tiger wants to know, you're still going to be in Tennessee this weekend.
Ooh.
Apparently, there's a big ride coming up this weekend in Tennessee.
I still work on Monday.
Yeah.
Okay.
We heard there was a party on Saturday, so we came to bust it up.
And as much as I dislike things about California, I love to ride. Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God, Northern California is so beautiful. So beautiful. I want to go back and ride it myself.
What's funny is we arrived to there. I was like, this sucks. We were talking. I'm like, this sucks because like Northern California is awesome, right? But yeah, you're like, it's California.
And the coastline of Oregon, I'd say that was, I don't know, it's probably second on my list. It's a hard tie between Colorado and there as my top two.
Yep. Started backing out. Oh, that sucks.
Wait.
I moved down from Harper's Ferry. Yep. Banjos are passages because.
Well, that sounds like a Joe Biden quote.
Yep. Yep. You know, let's.
Sure, I've heard a lot about that. We didn't make it that far.
Hey, go back up to Michael Bike. He has a reverse trike coming out. What do you mean reverse trike?
Like one of those Can-Am spiders?
Oh. So we are not doing suspension for them. We did start dabbling R&D because, I'm always like, hey, you need to look at this. I'm always throwing stuff out, what's popular, what you see, especially at rallies, what you're seeing. So the problem with like the spiders and the Rikers and stuff is that is more of a automotive front end that's on that. It's not an actual motorcycle. Like they got rack and pinion and all that stuff on it.
They got upper and lower A arms and
Yeah. Yeah. It's like automotive front.
yep. Just like those slingshots, those cars, the 3-wheel cars.
Yeah.
I don't care what.
Well, I'm not taking away from people having them and wanting to upgrade them, but when this is what I've learned over the past years, when it comes to something that you're like, yeah, that's a good idea, but is it marketable? Is there enough people who actually want to buy that idea?
Right.
So,
And that's something you always got to look at when you are designing a new product, especially for motorsports. Is there a want, a need that would sustain the research, the development, the engineering, the designing phase, the building phase, testing phase to, product release? Is there
right.
enough market there to support that?
Yeah, because what a lot of people probably don't think about, it's just because they're not around it, is the company's basically fronting the money. It's costing them a bunch of money to engineer it, R&D, and produce it before it even hits the market. So they already have a bunch of money tied up in it. So it's, can you get that money back from doing that product?
Right. Yeah, Harley Davidson did have the inverted trike back in the early 2000s. I don't think they actually hit the sales floor. I think they were just a concept, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, wasn't it just like a kit or something that you could put on it?
I'm not sure.
I don't know.
So, well, that's cool, man. H2 Performance is moving along, doing some big things. What do you see in the future for H2 Performance at this point? What would you like to see, I should say?
A trusted place to go to get quality products. Because I really only want at this time to sell and promote products that we run and we know about. You know what I mean? We're not trying to get like every product on the market. So when I'm talking to you, that product's actually over there on my bike. I've ran it. I know all about it, how it works, what you can expect out of the product, and stuff like that.
And if anybody knows us, we break absolutely everything. Everything. I always tell companies, if you really want to know the weak points of our product, we'll find them.
Yeah, I mean, you even made Noggin break his bike. Oh, wait, was that Noggin?
Yeah, it's not my fault it was pissing all over itself when it tried to keep up with me.
I think you missed an opportunity at throwing him a match and made him look like Ghost Rider.
I couldn't believe I broke my compensator in 3 places.
Yeah, well, that's why I got rid of my compensator on my Softail, because they do break.
Well, of course, here I am thinking I'm gonna race Drew. I know I can't beat him, but I'm gonna give it hell trying. Broke my bike.
Hey,
I made it through 1 gear.
Well, the rumor was he kept up with you on the highway.
Yeah, when there was 20 cars in front of us and I couldn't get through them.
The truth does come out.
Now he did go past me when I looked down and I seen that I was going 127 on I-4 and a bunch of freaking traffic, and I was like, Crystal doesn't need to go, and I rolled off that throttle. I was like, I don't need to go quite that fast. Let them go. Let the boys go.
Yep, you know where they're going. You'll meet them there.
Yep, I'll meet them there.
Yep.
Well, the
So-
funny part, so we get in traffic. He catch back up to me. I look over at him. He's probably gone again. I get back in the traffic, and I see him. Here he comes up to me. Once again, clear shot, gone again. So, not taken away from a sports, yes, but the best boat can run.
Yep. So Michael Bike's got a question. Your next build, anything on the docket?
Well, we'll see when I can get a bike.
Is there anything you got your eye on, Crystal?
I mean, I really want a Road Glide ST. I don't want the big build that Drew has. I don't need all that. I mean, obviously, with the big build, you have a lot more maintenance and so much more does break just because you're beating the shit out of it. So I don't really want that much. So we'll see what we come up with.
Well, you know what, Crystal? While you're there is a Road Glide ST there that you could liberate. It could use a better rider.
And don't worry, I can lower it for you while you're here so you can ride it better.
You have the technology.
I have an idea of what pipe I want. I even ordered powder coat splotch or paint samples so I could kind of get an idea of what powder coating I may want to do.
So she went in the shop, got a hold of the book, right, for our powder coating materials, ordered paint splotches, got them, went up to the Harley dealership and was walking around the Harley dealership with her paint splotches looking at different bikes. Now tell me that can't be any more of a woman shopping.
Well, it's got to match your person's shoes.
Well, you know how it's got like the bronze on it? Like everybody's doing the bronze. So I don't want to do the bronze.
I got rid of the bronze.
Yeah, so I don't want to do that. I like it. I just want something different. So I've been looking at some different options. And plus now we have really good accessibility to powder coating, so I can get whatever I want done very easily.
Now, there's that Fast Alf.
She don't like.
What is it?
What? The Fast Johnny.
Oh, I rode the ST. I like it, and I think it looks great. But it's like all the wind off that fairing hits you right in the face and the chest.
On the lowrider.
On the lowrider.
Mm-hmm.
And what'd I say?
You just said STs. There's like different multiple STs.
Well, anyways, in my mind, I knew what I was talking about. And
what I like.
And so, I mean, I want to go ride across country and everything, and I can do it on the lowrider. But if I'm going to get a new bike, I want a fairing that serves a purpose, and that the other one just doesn't do it.
Gotcha.
And see, I'm over here like, just get a standard. We're going to do all this stuff anyways. We'll build it out. We'll make it cool.
Right. Why spend the money? But the issue is, if you get a standard, it's the 107, and then your motor build will be limited to like a 128. But
well, I mean, you're doing the heads and all that stuff.
That's why I love having a full shop. We already got it planned out. We just got to get her on board with it.
I don't want to do all of that.
She's got to open the purse strings.
He wants to do all that. I don't necessarily want to do all that. Maybe we can just, do some lower, like a good stage 2 for right now. And then maybe as time goes on, we can continue to build it. But I'm not in any hurry to build a Drew bike. And if he don't like it, then he can go F himself.
Jake, you're not taking notes.
Well,
Crystal's bike, not Drew's bike.
I've been hanging around Drew, so the notes have been in the background.
So
I've
what
got a
happens without Crystal knowing happens.
I've
Doc,
got
I
a
got
few
a
things
project.
in my pocket.
And I'm going to tell you, proceed with caution, because if Crystal find out you did something to her bike that she didn't want, nice knowing you, my friend.
No,
Hey,
I've
hang
got
on.
plenty of plans. I have my own boss to answer to about my bike.
Yeah, it's okay because we have Project Spaceballs out due. So I know where the bar has been set. So that's where I got to get him to.
Yep. Well, that's just the beginning. There's always more,
There is always more, and I don't want to do all mine right off the bat. And I still want mine to be. I want it to ride across country.
I rode mine across country.
Well, I knew you did, but I want what I want. Thank you.
So, Spaceballs, the dream is one day adding a turbo to that.
Why not a Pro Charger?
I just don't like the way it looks off the side of the left side of the bike.
I'm just asking because that's your two options right there.
Yep.
Try to do forced air.
Or add nitrous.
They start burning stuff up.
You got to burn stuff up with a turbo or Pro Charger anyways. You're going to have to add a third injector and,
Start melting holes through pistons.
Yeah.
See what?
That's all right. I know a place you can get a dyno.
This is why Doc and I are not allowed to hang out together because we started
Going bigger and bigger and bigger.
Is that
How much of a bike can you
Crystal, there's
build?
nothing wrong with that. I've never
No,
heard a
there's
woman
not.
complain saying bigger isn't always better.
Well, you're correct, but
they're lying to you. They are lying to you.
and I understand it, and there is a place for it. I'm just saying I don't need that much for me personally.
So
Really, I would love to get her out on the track with my bike.
oh yeah.
Well, I haven't really rode his bike yet.
Yeah, because just watching her reaction times, like it blows my mind how fast she is.
I'd have to really get used to riding your bike first.
I'm surprised you're not used to it by now.
Well, I've rode on the now that I can't ride my own anymore, and I'm riding on the back. I can tell you what, there's between riding the old one and this one, there is a huge difference. Huge difference. I mean, he'll roll on it on the interstate and whiplash, and it's just rolling on it.
Yeah. And it's just so much fun. The more power you have, the bigger the smiles you have, because it's so much fun when you roll up on a couple of slant bikes on the highway and they're in the triple digits and you split them, passing them like they're standing still and they can't catch you.
Oh, that happened the other night. Two cross rockets that I was messing with the other night.
He likes to mess with crotch rockets.
Of course, because it's so much fun embarrassing them because they can't keep up with a Harley.
Especially when you got a passenger on the back with a tour pack and you're still just messing with them, taking off, slowing down for them, taking off. Yeah, it's fun.
And they're still on the throttle trying to catch up.
Oh, yeah, you hear that thing.
And then you got that beautiful. Then you got that beautiful note of the Chromeworks exhaust and that built motor.
Yeah, because what was funny is I let the first one get all the way beside me, and I looked at him, and I was just like, didn't even downshift, just gone. Because where she's on the back, I got more weight, so I got more hook, and that thing just.
Yep. Yep. I can't confirm or deny I've been known to throw my rear feet on the back pegs on the highway, throw my ass on that back seat, and just lay over. Good night, Two Up. Have a good evening. Thanks for coming in. So, I can't confirm that and deny that I do that on the highway on Spaceball, but it's definitely something that's fun to do because when you transition the weight over that tire and it starts, I just threw all this fatness over that tire and it helps it hook up much better.
Yeah, see, Jake, we got ratchet strap him to the bike so he don't fall off.
Yeah. So,
Jake,
hopefully you're back in Daytona in March so we could go riding sometime this coming year.
We do hope to be back. Everything's always, how with us it goes.
Yep.
We were stationary for a year. We really didn't want to leave Florida, but it was just something that had to be done.
Money.
Yeah, and my dad is actually ill and will be a lot closer in case something happens.
I'm sorry to hear that about your dad.
So there was a couple reasons.
but with all of that, I guess you can say we're Floridians now because we're pretty much tied to Florida between that guy and the other shop.
Mhm.
We're pretty much.
Yep.
I love it. I didn't want to leave. I'll be sure I didn't want to leave. I love Florida, dude. I thought we were redneck in West Virginia, dude. Nothing beats a swamp boy redneck. Them guys down there are. They make Steve Irwin look normal.
So, Jake, if he doesn't make it down, we're definitely going to hook up and do some riding.
Oh, absolutely. That was not even a question.
Do some hooligan stuff while we're down there.
100%.
Jake, just bring a blue igloo cooler. You'll be fine.
Yeah, and you got to bring it to the Cackleberry.
Oh my gosh, that was a fun night. That was a good hangout night.
That was. I mean, there was just so much going on, but nothing at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah, like
I feel we got to know each other a little bit more, and we got some common ties, which created a bond, and it was just so much fun that night.
I just was having fun busting Noggin's balls.
I do that every time I see him. I'll see him on August 5th.
What's August 5th?
I'm headed up his way. Going to go right up there with Rhodey and Corey and hopefully Noggin and Blue and a few other people that are up that way. Get together, go for a ride. I just want to go riding up that way. It's some great riding up there through Lake George, up around Lake Champlain and all that.
Dude, I look good in Tweedle's layer.
You do. You just got to change the logo behind him. You and LeBron's chicken just don't mix. You know what I mean?
Maybe, yeah. Nah, it just don't work for me.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Right on, Wilkie. Yeah.
Around 5 or 6 hours away from Tennessee. Yeah. Hey, Ray. Where you at, Ray? I know you don't live far away. Why aren't you up here hanging out with us? What's going on? I'll let you touch the shop.
Ooh. You know what? I think you'll even let them take a lowrider ST for road test. Or a Road Glide ST.
What?
Hey, I got something for you right here. In this nice red igloo cooler. Oh, let me pull it out for you.
Hey, I think I have an igloo cooler just like that one. I think I got a cooler just like that one.
Oh, shit. You see what I get?
Yeah.
You know what?
Where'd Crystal go? Take his bike for a rip?
Yeah, because
Somebody's got to go ride it.
Yeah, he rides it like a grandpa.
Yeah. Hello, thumpers.
Blow all the carbon out of that thing.
Yeah.
You know, now he's got, you know, the grandpa glide going on. Corey goes, burn.
Burn.
Oh, Tweedle's got his next bike to Gold Wing, huh?
And apparently he loves gold wings.
Yeah, right on. You know, I think you could get them pretty cheap or inexpensively, I think.
Yeah, I think I saw like a 1985 Gold Wing for like $1,500 on Facebook the other day.
There you go.
Run
Hey.
classic.
Grandma
was
says
that?
a Shriner special. Boy, Dallas really loves you in that Tennessee hat.
Apparently. Oh, Bill Dance.
Ray wants to know, does Chris have a bike to ride? Yeah, it's called a Road Glide ST.
No, she don't. No, she don't have a bike yet.
Well, there's that Road Glide ST in the garage or in the carport.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wilkie even likes that fancy hat. 1,500 more, badass.
Oh look, what Tweedles is such a nice guy.
Yeah, no kidding. I'm telling you, what a great host he is. You know.
I know, man. I mean, considering how many times he stays in my house.
Yeah. And you know, blamed everybody else for the snoring when it was him.
Yeah.
You know.
Hey Ray, she picked up my bike from the shop for me recently, and it made it back to my house in one piece. So
yeah, I didn't have it. So we went down to Jake's house, and Jake just had a little bit of surgery, so I stopped by the dealership to get his bike. And I was like, "Hey, follow me. I'm gonna ride his bike to his house." And I got kicked off the bike. She had to ride it.
So, you know, I won't be ashamed to say it. You guys ever in Connecticut, I got a bike for Crystal to ride. I hand her the keys to Spaceball.
Dude, if she was on Spaceball, she would kick the living shit out of me.
Okay, there's delivery service.
Delivery service.
Good night, Mike. Have a good one.
Hey, Massive, I got a question. You want some pudding? I got you a Coke. It might be spiked with a little bit of redolence. Thank you.
Hey, Tweedle.
Thank you for doing such a great job.
Hold on. Tweedle, here.
Well,
Dude,
I
that
see
was
Tweedle
scary.
cook for you, pudding and Coke, huh?
That was scary as fuck, dude. Oh shit, I'm done breaking the camera and everything. Oh, fuck balls. All right, we're good.
Oh, but no, I'd put Crystal on Spaceball. I think that'd be something to watch.
She would kick the shit out of us, dude.
I know she would. It would be fun to watch. Have her line up against you on Blue Spade.
I'm telling you, the straight line racer, she's actually really damn good at it. But oh, dude, that's beautiful. That is beautiful right there, boys.
Awesome.
That's customer service right there.
There it is. You want that representing H2 Performance? I'm sure you could hire him as a product model.
So if you used to you use the promo code Tweedle, I'm going to add 15% for that picture. It's not. I mean, he did say he loved semen at the beginning of this. So.
Yeah, I can highlight that. Want me to highlight that?
Now,
In the
He did say
Navy, in the Navy.
You want some dessert?
Hey, you want me to highlight
Everybody
that?
was helping him to make sure he stays hungry.
Look at that. Tweedle, do you see that?
oh no, he's running around like a freaking. Yeah, anyways. I think he drank Bud Light. I think that's the problem.
Well, he did make you pudding.
Somebody get that Manny Yingling and get him back to normal.
Hostess with the mostest.
Oh my gosh.
Poor Tweedle. Is Crystal slapping him around?
Oh, dude, they are in there just she's cackling like a hyena. Jesus, man.
Well, at least she's not slapping him around. I mean, that'd be my biggest concern.
You might enjoy it.
Absolutely.
Holy crap! What in the world's going on in there?
So tell Tweedle, Dallas says he needs to get a tan.
You'd think we'd been drinking.
I thought he did drink.
No.
Hey, Dallas. You like that white belly, don't you?
That's gone sideways.
You been drinking Bud Light?
Yeah, I think he's been drinking those White Claws.
What's wrong with White Claw?
Would he wear a dress?
There's nothing wrong with White Claw.
I know she's gonna say it.
Listen, you wear a skirt. It's okay. If a guy wears a White Claw, he better put on some fishnet stockings, a mini skirt, and a thong, and get to work.
But what if you're doing keto?
Again, you can put on some fishnet stockings.
Hey, you got to pay for these builds somehow, okay?
Hey, $20 is $20, right?
That's what I'm saying.
How do you think Tweedle built his bike down at the what is that? The Villages.
Yeah, the Villages. Take on some grannies. God dang this. Oh, that hat. Oh.
There you go.
There you go. Fuck it, run.
Cyrus says you need to ban Tweedle from his own office.
Well, Cyrus needs to babysit better.
No, it was funny.
Now, Cyrus, your son,
Yeah.
Crystal?
Yeah. Sometimes he gets in the lives and listens too.
There you go.
He's getting all kinds of good knowledge and how to misbehave.
Yep.
That's an understatement.
Yep. See, Corey says whiskey is keto. So's vodka.
There you go. Yeah, vodka is.
Hey, I'll raise a glass to that.
There you go. Kept my nipples. How many months is Tweedle at? Chris, are you going to do Tweedle's prenatal care?
Oh, no, it's great. I'm the one that talked him into it. So there's that.
Oh, the
Tweedle
1.5
had
Bud
15
Lights. No,
Yeah.
that's Ray with the 1.5 Bud Lights. He's on the floor at that point. Oh,
That's all
man.
it takes me.
I'm kind of sad that like DDK and Ray's not, you know.
We'll see you guys soon.
Apparently, they don't like Tweedle. That's why they don't go over.
Yeah. Hey, Ray, our son Cyrus wants to meet you. Just to let you know.
He's disappointed he don't get to go on the ride Saturday because I don't have my bike. But
Oh,
all three of us don't fit on one bike, so it's not an option.
sidecar.
No, can't do that. Can't go the car.
See, Ray says if somebody told him, he would have been there. Well, Ray,
Why
you don't
would-
live that far, so just run right down there.
Well, no. I think a couple people are getting together on Friday too. I don't know what the plans are. I know we got to do some filming.
Yep. Ray says he has a Sportster.
And it's not a sports yes.
Right. It's a real Sportster, and I could see
Right.
Hell's riding that.
Yeah, I could take
Not
his
really.
bike and he could ride the Sportster. I
Yeah,
think that's a great idea.
I think that'd be
Yeah.
hilarious. That would get like millions of views if you do a video of that.
I was fucking riding around everywhere like, yeah. Make sure I get off. I would say, yeah, brother.
Ray says he's only a half hour away. Okay, if you get there, you'll be there before 10 o'clock your time. Actually, before just after 9 your time.
You don't know how far you are from our campground.
Because we're only a half hour away from here.
Yeah, we're only a half an hour from here, but who knows in what direction?
Yep. Oh, no kidding. Putting carpeting in the Firebird. Right on.
Yeah, we've been sitting in front of the Firebird.
Nice.
I thought it was the fire chicken.
Yeah, fire chicken.
Fire chicken. To go with the
Right,
bronze
every time.
chicken. What is it with Tweedle and chickens?
There is actually a story behind why he goes by Tweedle.
I don't know. I was kind of disappointed when I walked in here and like White Snake wasn't like blaring, with the fire chicken on.
Wow. Well, I don't know how to answer that one, Tweedle. I'll let the Thumpers answer that.
Yeah. Somebody's at the front door. Well, we might have special guests in here tonight.
There you go. So the Thumpers want to know which campground y'all at.
Soaring Eagle. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, Soaring Eagle.
Yeah, Soaring Eagle.
It's the only one I could find as close to Tweedle as I could get.
Yes, I
Right,
did
found
choke some chickens. There was a lot of fireball involved in that, and it was a good time. You make some bad choices when you go partying with the monkeys.
Hey,
Hey, hey,
Jesus arrived, everybody. He
Hey.
raised.
hey, Jake, you got a twin.
He looks nothing like me. Hey,
Do you guys
mama
go to the
never
same
hung out
barber?
in Tennessee, did she?
Hey,
Looks like-
look, I had to recently adopt this lack of hairstyle because it was getting really bad. The widow's peak was getting thin.
I had the Pope.
Yeah.
Good evening, James.
Is your mom's name Mary?
No,
Seriously, she didn't hang around Lake City, Tennessee when she was a teenager, did she?
no, nope,
Hey, I got
nope.
something for you.
Phoenix.
Yeah, that's the. Those are nice.
They are nice.
It's a big difference, isn't it?
We should just make a sale right here on Doc Harley's Live. We'll make a sale.
Spring fronts too.
No.
I'll have it to you in 24 hours. Next thing you know, it'd be like, can you install them too?
Yeah, absolutely.
I got a lift at the.
Hey, hey,
You got a motorcycle lift or a mobility lift?
Well,
there you go.
don't underestimate.
He's got that
Oh,
nice
shit.
body kit from Advan Black too. So,
Hey, this is good live entertainment here. People just popping in, guests everywhere.
Yeah, and it's anarchy. I love it.
Except for like Tweedle posing for his new grinder picture coming in here, but it's all good.
I thought it was his OnlyFans page.
He wishes OnlyFans.
Well, I see he's got the Polish OnlyFans where people pay him to keep his clothes on.
Yeah. Isn't that grinder?
No, that's only friends.
Hey, Ray. DDK's here. What's your excuse? All right.
Ray says he's 30 minutes away.
I know. I mean, you just saw the party just started. Jesus showed up. We're
Yep.
going to turn some water into wine and have some good times.
Next thing you know, the Geritol is going to be coming out. The Viagra is going to be coming out.
Oh, dude, it is a party when you bring out the blue pills. It is on like Donkey Kong. Tweedle needs a good spray tan.
That he could look like Snooki.
He's not saying he's over an hour away. Didn't he just say he was a half hour away?
Yeah, I'm going to bring that up. Where is that? Hold on. Oh, I got to find it. Unless you deleted it.
Dun, dun, dun. Dude,
Where
it's
is
like
it?
it's like the Hunter laptop. Deny.
Yep.
Evil Rick says it's ours. We were wrong. We misspoke.
I believe Evil Rick.
Usually
on.
Evil Rick's on top of it.
Yeah. See, now Ray could be there going live for Ray's News Network with breaking news.
Sitting with me. We could
Yes.
be doing breaking news while he's sitting with me.
And he can have a beer and a half, and then you can have the other rest of the case. And
yeah. Half hour if you only ride. Yeah, Brock's right. Yeah, half hour if you ride faster. But I have to say, I already met the local cops, so it only took
5
2
minutes.
minutes in town. Yeah, 2 minutes in town. I met the local cops. Yeah. Apparently, the speed limit was 20 miles an hour less than what I was doing. So
Allegedly.
allegedly.
You know, I actually beat a radar gun ticket once. I took it to court, and I asked the cop in court, when was the last time your radar gun was calibrated? And he couldn't answer me. He said, so how do we know that it's accurate? And the judge agreed with me.
Well, maybe you'll need to come over to the old Castle Hells.
There you go. Casa de Hells.
Come over to Fort Dave.
There you go. That'd be. If I was in Tennessee, I'd be there. Come knocking on the door. Hells, wake the fuck up.
I'll be like, okay.
Let's ride.
We'll have to stare at me in my underwear for a minute, but all right.
Hey, I spent many years in the Army, man. I'd be like, go get dressed. You know, let's go. We're riding.
Jake, you're Jake.
Jake from State Farm.
I want everybody to know Jake's the spokesman of the company. Like, if you can't tell, he's the spokesman of the company.
Man, a very few words tonight.
Yeah, so if you ever call and he goes, this is Jake, make sure to ask him what he's wearing.
And
his answer better be khakis. H2 Performance / State Farm.
I'll sell you shocks and insurance.
There you
I'll
go.
double dip that.
Double dip.
I got a bike to build.
Yeah.
I'll sell you anything I can to pay for that bike build.
There you go.
You can tell he's getting into Harleys. He's understanding.
Hell yeah. So,
Yeah.
what's your goal, Jake, for performance on your bike?
Well, Doc, I'm kind of a short guy, so I will probably be sticking with the soft tail. I don't know if I'll be going up to a bagger anytime soon.
Right.
So
What-
I'm probably
What's your
looking at
performance
doing.
goals on your soft tail?
So I keep flip-flopping between doing just a stage 2 or waiting to do the big, like go up to a 128 or
143.
something like that. No, not
143.
143. Dude,
We got beat.
I'm
We
not
got beat
trying to-
131.
I can't. You're going to send me off to the moon on 143.
It's only money.
Yeah, no kidding. Probably like a 128 with probably a Sawicki pipe.
So we're doing a
And then-
Revolution 128 build, Sweeky pipe,
Sure, something
HPI.
like that. Yep. Big injectors,
Blues.
fat tuning.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, how big of injectors you thinking?
I have no idea. I haven't even gotten into the realm of injectors, but I got guys for that.
You got a guy.
So I got a guy.
This guy.
Yeah. So
That guy.
everything that would be associated with a 128 build. And
Actually,
then,
I would love for him to do the 128 build because we've been having some ideas because we've been playing around with some stuff. And I think I've been having a build in my mind to see how it would work. And I need a guinea pig, and Jake would be a great guinea pig for it. So
mullet short is 5'4".
Damn, that's shorter than Dallas.
Mm-hmm. And some days I wonder if it's even that. So, but yeah, and then obviously some other stuff. Looking at doing like an FXRP fairing.
Yep. There's
get that nice.
there's one out on the market right now, put out by Chromeworks, but I know Advan Black is developing a lowrider ST fairing as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've seen Chromeworks. No, it's Clockworks just released theirs.
Yes.
And then there's another one that I was looking at by a smaller company called Villain to Hero. They do a full kit, bracket, and all that with the fairing and, of course, the headlight cover. Right at about, I think it's like $1,400 or $1,500 paint matched.
Oh, nice.
Well, so they do the paint matches black or the sand pearl.
Right.
Or you can get it with just primer for whatever paint, custom paint or whatever.
Because that's coming too.
Custom paint?
Yeah.
Man. That's
look, I'll be shaking his head. Absolutely.
I mean, I would love some custom paint. I'm not gonna lie. Blue is my favorite color, so I would love to get some more blue on that black bike.
So you got the blue spade and you do custom paint. You can call yours the Black Heart.
Ooh.
There you go.
Doc is on it tonight.
Yeah. Of course, some other little hard parts too. The shifter, brake lever, all that stuff. So
yeah, that's
all
that's
anodized
all.
blue.
That's all. That's
yeah,
all.
that's the meantime stuff.
Yeah, that's the little stuff.
But
doesn't make the bike any faster.
No, but for performance stuff, definitely as far as
Yeah,
like
I'm
the
the
big
wrong
builds.
friend. I'm the wrong friend to have if you don't want to spend any money on a Harley.
Yeah,
Wrong
100%.
friend.
10,
You and me
10,000%.
both, bro. You and me both. I'm really good at spending. My buddy Mike, I love him to death. You know, he's buying his Roguelite ST and he's buying a 135 to go with it. And his wife just bought a Roguelite Standard, and I'm going to be doing her stage 2, some powder coating, suspension, everything. So, yeah, my poor buddy Mike, he's going to the poorhouse.
So that's my buddy Jake.
Because
I'll be straight with you. I'll be straight with you. I'm not really worried about Jake. His wife. I kind of have to watch myself.
that's why you have Crystal run interference.
No, because them two seem like if they got together and I pissed
They
them
would
off,
team up.
I'd be like both sides trying to. I'd be like, help me, DDK, help me, Jesus.
Now,
Yeah.
see, the way you could spin that to Jake's wife is, look, it's all research and development for the company. We have to showcase what we do. And what better to do it than on a stock bike?
Well, I've already learned she has a look, and it's that look like, do I look like I'm stupid? All right. And she'll give me that look already. She'll be.
I'm sure she has already about 100 times,
Yeah.
especially when
She
he
likes-
handed you the keys after he just bought the bike.
Oh no, she wasn't there for that.
Oh, okay.
You
I
actually
went to
bought
that
it on my
solo.
second day. You bought it on my second day of working.
Oh really? So
Yeah, that's my second.
that's why you didn't come talk to me. Yeah, that was Doc, I didn't even intend on buying that stupid bike either. I went in for a warranty belt guard on my Sportster that I had also bought brand new a year and a half earlier, and then the rear mount on that belt guard snapped, and so I went in to get the part. They had this beautiful black lowrider S, fresh off the truck 5 hours earlier, and you know.
I know how it
temptation
goes,
took over.
man. I know exactly how it goes.
Yeah.
But he'll tell you.
You lusted
Yeah.
after it, then you fell in love, and next thing you know, you're walking out with a new contract, a new bike payment, and for 84 months.
Here's the thing. He'll tell you. The other salespeople would bring customers to me. They'll sell a bike and then bring the customer to me. Oh, this is our performance guy. If you want to talk about performance, talk to this guy.
It's exactly how I met Drew.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
There you go.
So, yeah.
So I'm good at spending other people's money. Like I could tell you, I have the Squeaky Speed exhaust. I love it. It's loud. It's obnoxious. I get good power out of it.
I need something loud to keep up with that guy. He's riding next to him, migraine inducing.
Well, see, that's why you just got to ride faster to induce a migraine on him.
Well, that's the problem right now, Doc, is I stock bike, so I hit that speed limiter and, stupid factory tuning.
Yeah, well, good tuner can fix all that.
Soon.
Change your rev limiter. You could disable the speed limiter. Because speed limiters suck.
Yeah.
My whole thing is don't limit me on my bike. I bought the bike, not you.
Yeah, when we were in Mexico the other day, I found that speed limiter.
Was that when I allegedly went past that cop at 130 plus?
In Mexico, yes.
In Mexico, yeah.
Yeah.
Life comes at you fast at 140.
Yeah, it was well, fortunately I saw this alleged cop because I was so far behind, so I was able to come down to a more manageable speed to not get railed.
Yeah, that's more like, oh, I'm already here. Let's have some fun.
He's
Yeah,
already
he's
got
already
you.
there and
He
gone.
just can't catch you.
Yeah. It didn't even move. Just looked at me.
Nope.
Yep.
Nope.
And here's the radio call. I got a silver bass boat going up the highway at over 100 miles an hour, and the guys and the dispatcher's going, "A bass boat?"
Yeah.
I didn't know they went that fast. Yeah, so stock bike life, but not hopefully
Hey,
not for too much longer.
everybody starts somewhere.
Yeah. So I got to get my feet under me, and we're working on that. Taking
Now,
rips out with this guy.
a Star
Get me there.
3030 cam is a good stage 2 cam. All right, what do you say, Hal?
You upset Harley Jesus.
God, he brought that back. Jeez. That's what they used to call me in the dealership. They're like, it's Harley Jesus. I'm like, oh my God.
All right.
No. I'm not a big fan of a 3030. I have my personal reasons why I'm not a big fan of 3030. But I have become more and more of a fan of cyclorama stuff. I think
Same here.
I think they're a very underestimated cam.
Absolutely. I have the CR512 in Spaceball.
So I'll let some secrets out. That's what's in Tweedle Stage 2 is a cyclorama. I'm not going to say what size it is, but it's what's in it.
Nice.
I'm just saying, like, what I've been seeing. I don't, the S&S stuff, it works, the zipper stuff works, the fueling stuff works. Another good cams I like is Andrews. They're pretty reliable and easy to tune. But just the numbers, the what's the best way to say this?
You get better numbers out of cyclorama than you do everybody else.
It's not just that, just the tuning. If you look at the map and your EBs and everything, the tuning is just a lot better we get with other cams.
Yep. So Dying Breed asks a question. What's our opinion on the colored windshield by Clockwork? I think they look great on certain applications. They don't look great on every bike.
No. I think they work on a very clean bike that's just looking to make accents with color, not an actual like on my bike, that a blue windshield would not look good on.
Nope.
But if you have a very clean bike that's like a one color bike, but you just add little accents of color, they look outstanding.
See, I think Pat's bike looks good with the green windshield.
Well, that's one. It's a black bike. He's got little green accents.
Lots
He's got
of green accents
windshield
all over it.
Yeah, it looks great.
Yep. So Corey asked about Woods cams. What's your opinion?
I like them.
I like them too.
Yep.
Quick story about Andrew's cams. They were up at House of Harley, and I was talking to the guy at the booth, asking him about different cams and things like that. And he had glossed over on his face, looked like a deer in headlight, and says, "Look, man, I'm just here to hand out the information. I'm not an engineer. I'm not an engine builder. I know nothing about this stuff. I'm just here to hand this stuff out." And I'm like, okay, thanks for your time. Have a good day. Why would you send somebody out there that couldn't answer basic questions?
Especially on like the biggest rally that like that's. I mean, Sturgis is a big rally, but that was the rally of the year.
Yep.
Why would you not have your top guys standing there to talk to your people?
I don't know.
I would have my top guys be able to talk anything and everything to a customer.
I was hoping that they had a guy there to make me look stupid. because then I could learn something,
Right.
you know. But unfortunately, it didn't work out that way. 701 says he wants a picture of you, Drew. He's going to get a T-shirt made.
Yeah, it's gonna get the Harley Jesus thing. They started doing that in the dealership. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Well, in all fairness,
But-
he did do that in slides.
But I'm not Jesus. DDK's Jesus. He hung out with Jesus. Like he was like Jesus' chauffeur on his donkey. Like he's been around for a while.
He needs a better beard, though.
It's coming from the guy who's got no facial hair.
Well, okay, hold on now. That's for a reason. It's not going to be much longer.
Yeah, I understand. You got the Homeland Security collar on.
But
Noose, more like a noose.
Hey,
So-
I did 25 years in the Army. I understand. I haven't cut my hair since I retired.
let's see more about the cams here. All right.
Mhm.
And here's the things about cams. It actually go and learn your loads, like your degrees, your pitches. Actually learn that stuff because that's what's going to matter when you're starting to build in tune. Because sometimes you know, Doc. Sometimes, yeah, it's not holding the valve like you want it. So you need to change that. You need to change the cam because you need to change the load. But I don't know. I'm just not a name brand guy. I like to find hidden gems. I like to find smaller companies that are kicking ass.
Yep. Like Psychorama. You know, I
Yeah.
was talking to Chris, aka Sick White Glide, down at Blockhead. And
Yeah.
he has zero experience with Psychorama cams. And he and I collaborated a lot on Project Baseball because of what he did with Godzilla. And we've been going back and forth. And I sent him my final dyno sheet, and he was like, holy shit, when he saw the torque numbers. He was absolutely, completely impressed.
Oh yeah. I run Cycle stuff. I like it. I love the characteristics of a Cycle cam too when you ride it. I love the characteristics of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's
got-
some good cams, and you know they work great,
Right.
and they're not a lot of money.
No, and they're actually pretty easy to tune. So
Yeah, well,
once you got good weather.
my first tuner, he had a hard time tuning the bike, and then when I took it to Dr. Dyno, in less than 3 hours, he had that thing running correctly and had the air fuel ratio right, and I was much happier with an increase of over 13 horse and over 5 foot-pounds of torque.
That's huge. You know, that's a huge gain just for tuning it.
Yeah, over 13 horse.
Yeah.
You know, went from 140 to 154.
So was the first tuner trying to chase, like on your AFR stuff? Was he like trying to chase a straight line? The reason I asked is because I see a lot of some of these tuners. They try to chase a straight AFR line and not actually pay attention to what's happening in the EVs and what's going on.
I don't know, because there was at one point there, it's right around 2,300 RPM. It was like 10-to-1 air fuel ratio.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a significant dip and back up
Right.
for about 500 RPM. Yeah.
Let's say we got two guys at the shop that I don't know. You know what I mean?
See that red line?
Yep. Holy shit.
That was the first tuner.
Golly.
That's
Stupid rich.
yeah. I mean, I understand. Like sometimes you have your little places that your AFR is going to be off a little bit, but that's because that's what the bike's calling for. You can't ever get like a straight across. But
Yeah,
you don't.
well, and then
not that
after that, he was able to get it to 12-1,
right.
which is still a little rich. I like him around 13-1 to, maybe 13.5-1, because that's on the cusp of lean, but safely lean.
So here's my thing. Sidetrack you here. Talking about the lean, safely lean. Have you looked into Revolution Motors?
I used to have the Revolution top end in my Softail, my 93 Softail.
I am a big fan of Revolution stuff and what they're doing, especially with
absolutely.
the MX.
Absolutely. The compensator delete that I have is from Revolution.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, a lot of the cranks that we're using lately is from Revolution, and dude, they come back and holy crap, they're on the freaking money. I'm like, this is awesome.
yeah, I mean they make a good product. My 93 Softail on that Evo. Granted, I spent 18 hours massaging each head. That's porting, polishing, going to the flow bench, getting flow, come back, do some more, and do. I got 18 hours of just porting and polish each head, so I got 36 hours in my heads, and poured and polished the intake manifold. I ran an S&S Super G carb on that, and I ran an S&S 585 cam, which S&S says that cam won't work because it won't clear your rocker boxes or your lower case. I had to do some grinding, but the bike made 140 horses at the tire.
Right. Dang, that's stupid. Oh my gosh, that's stupid.
On an Evo.
Yeah, that's stupid.
I'm stupid. I'm sorry. I'm a horsepower. I'm a horsepower torque junkie. Especially with torque. To me, it's more addicting than any narcotic that's out on the street.
It is. It is. That sometimes when I'm sitting there with my bike messed up, I'm like, is it worth it? And then when I'm doing the stupid shit to mess the bike up, I'm like, yep, it's worth it.
Yep. Yep. And I know once I put a turbo on Spaceball, I know I'm going to have to rebuild that motor every year. Replace rings and pistons and jugs and
So when you get to the turbo, you're switching to a Thundermax?
No.
Just one.
No.
Because everybody goes to a Thundermax to run like a trash turbo or something.
Yeah. And I wouldn't be doing Trask because their turbo kits are 10 grand.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I've installed them.
Yeah. They're all the money.
Yeah.
There are bits and pieces you can buy and build your own turbo for a third of that. And that's what I'm going to be looking at doing.
The funniest thing, okay, first time I ever installed one of those trash systems, I'm like, all right, I'm going to make sure I do this by the book. That way, if something happens, and It's not on me. I started going through it, reading, put the part together, torque it down. Well, how in the heck am I going to get the stuff to line up if everything's torqued down?
Yeah.
I'm like, I talked to him afterwards. I was like, you can't torque everything down piece by piece. You have to put it all together and then,
Mm-hmm.
torque it down.
I'm
Or
getting,
it won't line up.
I'm getting caught up here in the side chat. Dying Breed. The CVOs look better in person. I actually have them on my video coming out Sunday. I actually like them. I just don't want to spend the money on one, number one. Number two, it's a first-year motor with the VVT and everything that concerns me. Yes, there's a warranty and everything, but as we all know, the first year on anything is not the year to buy something. But people do.
Look at the M8s, the first 2 years of the M8s.
Yep. With the sumping, the oil transfer from the transmission to the primary, all their fixes that really didn't work until about 2020. Late 19, they fixed the sumping issue per se. And then same thing with the oil transfer from the transmission to the primary. Tiger says he wishes he had a tenth of the motor knowledge that you and Jake have.
Tiger, I'm in the same boat with you, man.
I only have this knowledge because I hang around really smart people.
Yep.
And I fuck a lot of shit up.
Yep. Yep. And I've been at this. I've been a gearhead since I was 15 years old. So at 15, I started building my first car, which was a 69 Chevelle SS.
I can tell you what not to do more than I can tell you what to do.
Yep. Wu-Tang War Whistle.
Yeah.
Does it come with a bat?
All right, I'm probably gonna have to call it. We got I got Jesus in here. We gotta go have the Last Supper, and
yeah, man. Grumman said he stayed at a Holiday Inn, so he's good.
Which Holiday Inn? The one Chingy's at?
Doesn't really matter. He stayed at a Holiday Inn. He could do brain surgery now. It's my 19 trike at 19,000 due to compensated. Yeah. A bat wing. Hells, Jake, thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. You guys always welcome. Appreciate both of your time. I know you're very busy. Hells is on the road doing his thing with Crystal. Jake, I know you took time out of your family. Thank you so much for coming on.
Doc, thanks for helping us promote our company and what we're building here. Hopefully we can work on some shit together.
Oh,
I appreciate it. Thank everybody that's in the live chat because a lot of you guys are already been putting the word out, helping us along build this thing too. Riding on 3 hit me up. I'm telling you, you will not be disappointed with the shocks.
Yep.
Let's see. Doc, we gotta get you down to Ormond Beach into the mad scientist layer and play around with it.
Oh yeah, let's do that.
It is a wild place.
I'm looking forward to that.
Lots going on down there.
Well, let me tell you. Let me really dick tease what we're doing in there. There's going to be some stuff coming out in the next year, some products, some builds that are going to blow some people's minds because even though the companies have just started, a a lot of us been friends for a while, and we've had a lot of these long conversations about doing stuff or fixing a problem. We just finally kicked ourselves in the ass and started doing it.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, I know of one project we're working on, Doc, that when it comes out, you're gonna be like, "Oh, that's cool as shit."
Another time, I'll tell you about a harebrained idea on a build I wanted to do for a biker build off in Sturgis. And they came to me and says, my name and shop isn't big enough to get into the build off.
Yeah, just to give you a little history. So like the main guy, his Instagram is Daytona HD Willies. Doug, he's been around the industry a long time. If you go in the shop, there's trophies and stuff from bike build offs that he's won. If you go back and look of like OG performance when it started coming around, you will find his name with a lot of these guys. So between that and the tech that we have on staff, like we're a no joke shop. Like this is not like some guys that got pissed off and decided to start doing their own thing that used to work in dealership life. No, man, we're guys that want to do cool shit.
Yep, right on.
So yeah, we gotta get you down here, Doc. We gotta get you down there. Let you in the behind the scenes, see some of the mad scientist shit that goes on.
Oh, I would love that. I would love that.
And if you got anything you want to work on, just let me know. We'll see if we can't collaborate or what the fuck we come up with.
Well, I still got that chopper build I'm trying to get parts for.
Chopper. Get in the chopper.
Yep. Got to raise money for homeless vets.
Well, if you don't know, Doug is, he's a Purple Heart combat wounded vet. So actually, yeah, we're all vets in there, if I remember right.
Oh, right on.
So yeah. So if you have thin skin, don't come in the shop.
Hey, how do vets greet each other? Fuck you.
Yeah. Yeah, it gets abusive in there sometimes. Yep. You can't hold it. That's Jake. He got into it Monday. He walked into it Monday.
Yeah, it was wild. Yeah, I had to dodge a couple of wrenches and sparks flying off of ghetto wiring and.
Whoa! Here we go again with the ghetto wiring. God dang you mofos!
So, Jake, everybody wants to know: do you have a YouTube channel and Instagram where they can follow you?
So I don't have a YouTube channel at the moment, but I do have an Instagram. It's at Jake_ride H2 Performance.
There you go, guys. Make sure you guys give him a follow on Instagram. I'm going to do that right now. So let's see. Search. It's new post. So it's Jake at
underscore.
Oh, underscore. See? H.
Rod H2 Performance.
Okay. There you go. Oh, I'm already following you, Jake. So everybody go ahead and give him a follow on Instagram. And if you haven't done so, follow hellson2wheels on YouTube, is Instagram, and H2 Performance as well.
Yeah, and if you have any questions,
call Jake.
Call Jake.
Are you pretending to be me again?
Nope. Yeah, it looks like you are.
So, Jake, I'm going to be calling you about questions about cams and lifters. So I'll be doing that about 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. So you got some homework to do.
Oh, perfect. I'll be on the road anyways.
I feel
That's
like
right.
this is a best.
Drew
This
will
is a
give
start
you your
to
cell
the
phone
best
number.
Hey, it's all right. I can make up all sorts of numbers and we'll figure something out for you. And it might be a little bit of research and development in the process, but we'll make something work somewhere.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll make up all kinds of numbers. They'll be like, hey, you need to make these numbers. I'm like, shit.
Let's go to that drawing board there, Drew.
There you
I'm
go.
not a numbers guy. Dino numbers are just for YouTube use.
That's it.
Yep.
Put it in the streets. We'll see what it really does.
It's the writer. So, Jake, with your permission, I'm going to post your Instagram in the side chat.
Yeah, absolutely. Please do.
We was coming to say goodbye. We know y'all ready. I am going to get off because I want to talk to this guy.
All right, guys. You guys have fun. I'm going to stay on here for a little while longer. Tweedle, I hope you get your slingshot soon.
I'm not getting no slingshot. I got a road glide.
Well, it says that you love slingshots with all kinds of lights.
Hey, don't forget. Remember, he put in that he's selling a 23 Road Glide.
I'm not selling a road glide ST. Quit trying to pretend to be me.
I offered $2,000, a bucket of Popeye's chicken, and a bucket of KFC.
Look, I told you 40K and a bucket of Popeye's spicy chicken.
Got it. 40,000 in pesos or yen.
Why are you so gay?
40K in yen. Got it.
Yeah, 40K.
40,000 US dollars.
No, yen. Got it.
No dollars.
I got your address. I'll bet you. Better yet, I'm gonna send you 40,000 in Iraqi dinar.
There you go.
Already got one of those.
Hey, you might as well go rubles.
Yeah, ruble.
Dude, I'm like here with a living legend. Like,
Well, I'm living. I'm glad that y'all think he's old. Another day above ground's good.
so what do they have at the first supper? What'd you eat?
You know, do you like good steak?
I love good steak.
Well, you wouldn't like it.
All right, everybody head to Tweedles for steak dinner tonight.
All right. Well, we're gonna go turn some water into wine and have some fun.
There you go. Later.
Just
Thanks,
don't try
Doc.
to walk on the water.
How's it going, Gremlin?
Good, man. Just going through the motions.
Yeah, that's it. Woke up. So it's a good start of the day, and let's see.
Yeah, I went out for
Start
a
all
ride
over
today.
again.
Finally, the rain's slowly. The last 2 days have been great. I put a quick 200 miles on it today.
There you go.
Well, I'm kind of testing out my distance riding, because of some medical stuff. So, I'm not going to get into all that, but I think my next long distance trip is going to be up to Wilmington, North Carolina. That's about 5.5. So, I know Myrtle Beach I know Daytona's an easy ride for me. So,
Right.
so it's, I've got that, but that's 3 hours. So I'm going to push it to 5.5, and I'll probably take 17 up through Myrtle Beach and then come around that way.
There you go.
Well, it's faster to go 95 sometimes and then hit 74, 76 and go across. But I know the Myrtle Beach route just as well. So I'll probably go into Myrtle Beach, probably stop at the Beaver Bar or something like that and chill out for a little bit and then, continue on the last couple hours, 2 hours.
Yeah, right on.
But I got my KST handlebars in. I'm waiting on the extensions. Extensions for the wiring and also the extended cables. So once that gets in, I'm supposed to call these folks, I think Tuesday next week. So once I get that on there, I'm only going with 12s this time because I went 12s on my shovel head, but the way I sit on my Fat Boy now, it's a different, height difference from all that, and my riser are actually lower on the triple tree, coming off the gas, coming out from behind the gas tank. Whereas on my shovel head, they actually came up above. So, and I didn't like the 12-inch apes. So I went with 12 this time because I'm actually taking it down, even though I think my stock ones were, I think stock 2012s were what, 10-inch maybe. So that's what I had on there, when I bought the bike.
Yep, right on.
And then, I'm still with what we were talking about, I'm still working on getting some finances accumulated. So
yeah, there you go.
But stocks are down.
Yes, they are.
That's all I can say. Stocks are down, so that's what's kind of what I'm dealing with.
Yeah,
but,
you and everybody else.
Well, where's your next rally? You going to the smokeout?
Nope, my next rally isn't until mid-September, which is the Catskill Mountain Thunder up in New York.
That'll be nice. I've heard about that one, just for the ride.
Yep. I've never ridden up in the Catskills. That'll be my first time, so I'm looking forward to it. I've been offered a personal tour by the guys who run the Hudson Valley Motorcycle Network. They're going to take me around and get me out, so I'm not riding in a big group, which I would never do anyway.
Yeah, that's a pain. But yeah, it's good to have people that know their way around. It's a lot easier, just.
Yep, absolutely. And of course, my friend Lady Bike Builder is going to be up there. Maybe her and I can get out and ride and do something. I don't know. I'm not putting much into plans anymore because every time I make a plan, it just doesn't happen.
I'll tell you what, down in Myrtle Beach, you were making plans. You were steadily busy.
Well, you mean Daytona Beach?
Oh yeah, what I say?
Myrtle.
Oh, sorry, I had Myrtle
because all the plans I made was 100% in my control. Or if I try and make plans with somebody else, that lately it's like falling apart. Like I had plans to meet up with a lot of people in Milwaukee that just didn't happen because our paths were not aligned properly.
What I find with some of the stuff is if we don't, if you guys don't get your message out soon enough, then it's hard for the average person to catch up as to where, you might be prior, let's say you're already at some place and you say, yeah, and you can meet me here next day. By the time they catch up with it, if they're out and about too, it's, now you put your stuff out fairly early. So that's why I was able to catch up with you at some point.
Yep.
Same with Monkey. And so between the two of you guys and Sandman.
Yep. Sandman's a good dude, man. I like him a lot.
I'm anxious to meet Wilkie and Dallas and all those guys. So I haven't met
Wilkie is a really good dude, man. He really is.
Yeah, we've been talking. So yeah,
he's even better in person. I'm serious. I mean, when we got to New Jersey to the hotel, we ended up being 4 doors down from him. And he came out of the hotel with beers in hand for my wife and I. I'm like, dude, you're fucking awesome.
I should have rolled the carpet out.
Basically, he did. And, we did some riding together the next morning, headed down to Fielder's Cafe where the Baggers and Brews ride started.
Right.
And that was a good time. And, he and I clicked with our riding style right from the get-go. Usually it takes miles to learn somebody how they ride, but he and I ride so similar that when I was thinking we need to get around this car, as soon as I was thinking that, he and I were going together,
Oh, yeah.
And it was just, usually it takes a lot of miles and a lot of time to sync up like that, to the point where we were shifting at the same time, we were braking at the same time, we were bobbing and weaving together. Yeah. It was a lot of fun.
I had a buddy like that up in Wilmington. We had a bunch of newbies following behind us, wanted to learn Myrtle Beach. This was back in probably early 80s, I guess. and we dusted them. We just said, "The hell with these clowns, man." We just in and out of traffic, just cruised on down. They said, we know where they know where they're supposed to be. Fucking, we're going where we need to be. We're not waiting on them.
Yep.
So, yeah, I know how to handle traffic too, because I'm not saying I do it the correct way, but I know how to handle it my way. And and he and I are the same way. And I rode with Monkey and a friend of theirs, a couple, when we came back to the Cabbage Patch and met you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and no issues. We seemed to know what we were doing when we wanted to do it. And, the key thing is also communicating. With my buddy, when we were in and out of traffic and doing some longer rides, there's little finger movements sometimes and things like that you get used to that, the average person might not know, but that's the other person knows that's what you're doing.
Yep. Ask, hey, Gene, how you doing? I'm going to put the link back in here. It's now an open mic night for about another hour. If anybody wants to jump on. Oh, wait a minute. Wrong one. That's to Jake's Instagram. Well, there it is. If you haven't followed him on Instagram, but there it is. The link to the live stream if everybody wants to jump on. But when Corey and I were coming back with another guy, we were coming up and we hit this traffic, and I don't like sitting in traffic on the highway. I went right down the breakdown lane. Corey and that other guy's like, "Oh, right on, man. Let's roll," and we got right past it.
What's wrong with that?
Nothing.
I mean, I've driven Boston before. I've driven up in the Northeast. I mean, if you want to get anywhere sometime, that's the only way you're going to get there.
Hey, PA, how you doing? Gene,
Hey,
it was great meeting you in Gettysburg. I met Gene Kelly in Gettysburg as well as PA. It was great meeting you up there and your wife. You guys are awesome. So, but yeah, I mean, I had such a good time riding with Wilkie and, of course, with Rhodey and Corey and everybody. And, we didn't do any riding because we were too busy doing shots that night. But we'll definitely do some riding, Grandma.
Oh, yeah. Well, let me put a stage 2 in my bike first. I got the handlebars, I got that. I'm working on other things. I'm trying to figure out a seat that, okay, you see my size. Okay, I have no problem with the narrowness up by the tank, but where it comes around and hits my inner thighs, I'm looking for something a little bit more narrower that also has the lumbar and, if possible, maybe even a backrest. If available. Because I've already pretty much regrouped as far as my if I want a tent camp.
Yep.
I've got a lot of good stuff for that. So even though that's usually the last choice, but if you have to, hey, you might as well go in style.
Gremlin, you know as well as I do, man. The way we used to tent camp is a bedroll on the ground, a tarp over your sissy bar, your handlebar, and it's a lean-to, and
yep, and a chain, and don't forget the chain through the spokes and around your ankle.
Yep.
I had a 12 by 12 pop-up one time. I could, if it was just me riding, I could go ahead and bring the bike into the tent with me.
Yeah. Yep. And
but
I
don't know if you've seen these little. Yeah, have you seen those advertisements, that quick setup tent that pop up Dome Home on Facebook or wherever?
No, I haven't.
Okay, well, I picked up one of those, and I've got a goose down sleeping bag, but I'm gonna put this down a little bit. But I've got like a sleeping bag that's only about that big, and it's good to about 20 degrees. So I've got the tent, got that. I'm looking at a little. I've got a portable coffee brewer, a percolator, and I'm looking at this very portable setup for a gas grill that would fit on in a saddlebag and stuff too, to where I can go ahead and just set that on there, make coffee, or put a pot on there and cook.
Yep.
Let's see. The only thing I need now is I'm looking at bed rolls, and of course, I'll get a small tarp.
Yep.
You know,
So
I've got big tarps covering everything right now.
Keith, when I was in Milwaukee, all the new CVOs were on wheel chocks, holding them all upright, and I didn't get a chance to pick one up off this kickstand. But I would love to, and I'm sure I will soon. But I like the new CVOs. I really do. That orange paint is fire. The infotainment system is amazing. However, if they break, they're $6,000.
Wow.
Yep. And I found that out by Sounds, because they had one the guy bought at House of Harley, took it right from House of Harley right to their tent, and they put a whole new sound system in it. And they're telling us we were so nervous because if we broke a pin, bent a pin, cracked the screen, or anything, was $6,000 out of their pocket.
Wow. Why so much? Labor?
Well, no, I mean the screen is, almost as wide as the fairing, and it's a multi-function screen. You can move things around. It's actually really cool.
What's the front made out of? Are they using that glass that Corning developed?
I have no idea.
They were talking about this kind of glass using fiber optic or solar panels under the roads, and actually doing it that way. So they call it. It's probably similar. They're kind of working in that direction with these new iPhones and stuff with these kind of lens.
Yep.
Front
Instead
pieces.
of the liquid crystals or the many different LED lights to make your images and stuff like that.
Yeah, pixelation now. I remember the technology back in the day. They actually had to where instead of having a cathode ray tube coming up and hitting it and reflecting, they would actually have it to where it would shoot LED pixels, and each pixel was unto itself. And that's what made it almost like a drone show, I guess, would be a close thing to it.
Yep.
So, but anyway,
I remember computers, man. You had your choice of black with green writing or green with black writing.
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, I go as far back as the 8500 Tandies.
Okay.
I took basic computer, I took Pascal, I took Fortran, all that kind of stuff. And I remember I went to when Apple used to have their stores. I went there. I wanted to see what they were about. And so I told the guy I want to see a graphic art program, and he was trying to show me. Of course, I was reading faster than he could. So he said, as long as you don't save anything, go for it. So I looked down, and it was probably 10 o'clock in the morning when I got there. When I looked back up at the clock and it said 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm like, oh my God, this is it. So anything to keep me that occupied mentally.
Yeah.
So I've kind of geared in that direction, sort of like Droop and everybody with the IT stuff and telecommunications and everything else. But I'm still like what's his name was saying. I went straight from shovel heads straight into these newer motors. I mean, the last I saw was the old Softails when they first came out after the shovel heads, where they had the double gaskets in the heads. Now they only have the singles.
Yep.
And that kind of stuff. So my knowledge is more from that. But then I do have the knowledge of, when it comes to building a chopper, there's certain things, or a bike in general. There's, you may not know certain specs for the internals like you guys do, but as far as anything that's surrounding all that, all the other stuff, you just, it's easy.
Yep. Good night, Wilkie.
Later, Wilkie. You just have to be patient enough to take all the parts off. But now it seems like, I'm used to choppers and even the shovel heads. Now it takes forever to get to the engine.
Yep. No, not really. But Gene wants to know how Milwaukee was. I could tell you it was off the chain. It was one hell of a great party / rally. I had more fun and enjoyed myself there more than I did in Laconia. You can't compare Gettysburg to that in any way, but it was worth the trip. I'm glad I went. It was something to be experienced, and I could tell you if you were on the fence of going, uh, definitely go to the 125th because I think they're going to have one every 5 years, an anniversary party. Um, it was well worth the trip. We left here on a Friday morning at 3:15 in the morning and got to the airport. We flew. We finally got into Milwaukee about 3 in the afternoon. We got the car. By the time we got to House of Harley, it was 4 in the afternoon, which was fine because they were still open, and so was everybody else. We had such a great time. I definitely want to go back. I couldn't get into the museum because the museum was almost a 2-hour line to just get into the museum. The Harley Davidson store at the museum, it was an 1.5 hour long wait just to get in. And I'm not going to spend my whole day there going into the museum, which I've already been to, or get in line to stand there and look at products to buy. I just couldn't do it. There was much other things there I wanted to see and experience that I haven't there. Like I got to see the factory race team for King of the Baggers, their bikes. Saddleman's race team, I got to see their bikes. I got to the new product showroom where the new CVOs, the Road Glide 3s, all the new bikes were in there. Got to talk to, met a gentleman, I can't remember his name right now. His uncle set a land speed record 1937 on a Harley and took it away in Daytona Beach. On the beach, he set that land speed record. I got to talk to him and spent a good time talking to him. I spent a lot of time talking to this gentleman named Corey, who owns Chopper Magazine, who was original owner of that was he did all the Rat Fink stuff, and name escapes me right now. Ed Ross was the original owner of that. He now owns it, and I spent a lot of time talking with him. And I spent a lot of time talking to Harley Davidson engineers and people who work in Arizona at the test tracks and things like that. I really spent a lot of time talking with people, networking with people, and I had such a great time. At House of Harley, I networked with, the company, the Jekyll and Hyde exhaust systems, which are slip-on mufflers that are electronically controlled for sound, which to me was the coolest thing I've ever seen. You push a button, your bike is sound stock. You push the same button, now it's got a nice deep rumble.
Hey, Doctor, how hard was that? How hard would that be to set up? That configuration.
I don't think it's that hard because you're going to have, you put your mufflers on. There's wires that come off of that I guess go to a control unit. From the control unit goes to an on-off button, and it gets its power from the diagnostic port on the baggers underneath the right side cover.
Did it have different levels of sound?
It only had 2, quiet and not so quiet.
All right.
Yep. And let's see, he says, glad to hear it. Everybody was bad mouthing. Yeah, probably because they were bad mouthing the fact that they were charging so much for the concerts. I never made it to Veterans Park, even though I had tickets given to me. I never made it there because parking was, forget it. Just getting around the city, forget it. You couldn't do it. Streets were closed, so motorcycles only. Some streets were closed because they were overcrowded. The hotel I was staying at, they had a shuttle running back and forth to there, every 20 minutes. But my wife and I sat there for about an hour and a half waiting on the shuttle. And I said to her, let's just go to the bar and drink. And that's what we did. And met some great guys there. I met the owner of a few Harley Davidson dealerships down in like the Tampa area. Great dude. So, there was so much you could do without spending the money to go to the concert to see the bands. But as far as going to House of Harley, Wisconsin Harley, the other Wisconsin Harley, the Milwaukee Harley, where Mexi Fields was, I never made it out there because I ran out of time. The Friday, Saturday I was there just wasn't a time to see and do everything I wanted to do. I would need actually another day or two. So, well worth the trip. I had such a great time. I had a pimped out, badass Cadillac to drive around in. I paid for the upgrade. I was given an economy car. And I was like, you got anything a little more fancy, a Porsche, a Corvette, or, anything, a Cadillac, Mercedes? Says, well, we got a Cadillac. I was like, I'll take it. How much more? And they're like, oh, it's $100 more a day. I'm like, I'll take it. Here's my credit card.
Yeah. Oh, another white beard.
Yeah. That was a couple years. Yeah. Right on. Others are for sale, but not them. I have no idea. Let's see. Would like a bit larger, but could deal with it. Yeah. They're spending. I think about because it's on the ground. Yeah. What's up, Keith? How you doing, bud?
What's going on, Dr. Harley?
Hey,
What's going on, Grandma?
another fun-filled evening.
Yeah, I wanted to talk to you about your thoughts. We could compare notes on Milwaukee.
Yeah, right on.
So I can tell you what my wife said.
What'd she say?
She said it was. So we agreed. Behind Sturgis, it's the second funnest thing we've ever been to on a bike. It was a blast.
I was in a cage and I still had a great time.
Yeah, but most of the YouTuber guys, like so I'm friends with the 2 Lane Life guys out in California, and I know they all flew in. I think a bunch of folks, did what they had to do to get there. So, but yeah, I mean, here's the thing: it was still cool. I mean, we rode. We didn't do any long, we didn't do any real rides. We just rode we stayed in downtown. We had an Airbnb like 5 minutes from that we shared with some folks. But we went to the museum. We went to House of Harley. We went to the concerts. We went out to Utes. And then we did just a few more, like just checking just checking out vendors and checking out, talking to folks. And so we really didn't ride that much. So I don't think you missed a lot.
No.
That's the difference between Sturgis. I mean, Sturgis, I say we spend 70% of the time in the saddle and 30% of the time, in at the Chip and downtown.
Well, when I went to Sturgis in 2010, I rode out there from Connecticut on a Softail with 18-inch bars and a Badlander seat.
Yeah, how was that?
I did zero riding in Sturgis. I spent my whole time at the Chip. Never made it to downtown. But
were you in traction?
Almost. I was peeing blood for 3 days because I bruised my kidneys on the way out.
It's a small price to pay.
I was walking bent over for a few days because I was just too sore. When I had to leave on Friday, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to ship this home and fly home. And then I realized, no, I need my bike Sunday morning in Connecticut.
Oh, man.
So I left the Buffalo Chip, roughly about 11:30 in the morning, Friday morning. I was in Milford, Connecticut, and which is on the shore, about an hour north of New York City, by 7 a.m. on Sunday. And
That's serious.
and I had to do some writing because I was a prospect in a club at the time. And we went to the party, and they're like, dude, you need to sit down. I'm like, no, please don't. Don't punish me.
I know that'd be the biggest mistake you ever made, is telling them that you were tired or sore or.
Well, they looked at me because I was walking bent over, and they asked me, why am I sore? I said, well, I just rode in from Sturgis. Well, when did you leave? I says, late Friday morning, about 11:30 in the morning. They're like, and you're here? And I'm like, yes. And they're like, you need to sit down. I'm like, no, please don't. But I was given the day off. I didn't have to do any prospect duties or anything like that. They all felt bad for me. Yep. I got the respect.
You didn't have to watch bikes or wash bikes.
Nope. And I met my club at the time. We were going to a 1% party, and even the 1%ers are like, dude, just chill. You just take the day off. You've done more riding than most of our guys do in a year in less than 48 hours.
Yeah. It's that's one of those deals where, like, I always tell people I love to ride, but it's another thing when you have to ride. And again, it's not like, oh, I have to ride. Well, how many? 200 miles. Oh, well, that's not have to ride. No, have to ride, and I got to get 1,700, 2,000 miles in 2 days, 3 days.
Yeah, I think it was just under 2,000 miles I did in less than 40 hours.
Yeah, that's cooking.
On the way home, the only time the bike saw under 100 was gas and bathroom.
I was about to say exit ramps and entrance ramps.
Well, the entrance ramps, I was cooking 100 by the time I emerged onto the highway.
No, that's one of my favorite stories is so my brother he was a cop, and so, but he was actually he's a decent one, and we went up to the Big Texas Toy Run. One of our brothers was one of the main guys up there in Dallas in that, and so we would always go up and support that, and so we went up, did the Big Texas Toy Run from Houston to Dallas. It's like a
that's
if
a
you're
pretty
doing
good ride.
Yeah, it's like 6 hours.
Yeah, well, we were on the north side of Houston, so it was probably 3.5. We did it in an hour, and we did it on the way back, hour and 45.
Yeah, because it's 3 hours from Killeen, Texas to Dallas.
Yeah, no, yeah, we went from Magnolia, which is, like I said, I mean, it's like north of the Woodlands. So we're a good bit. We're like maybe an hour easy north of Houston, and then we started. When we hit the Dallas, and when we hit the Dallas, we did our first. We filled up with gas on the south side of Dallas, and we said, you know what? Let's see how fast we can go. And I had cover, although I am not sure that even him being a cop would have got us out of 3 figures, but
no,
it'd have been worth a shot,
No. And I did pass quite a few cops coming home, but I guess they figured I'm not going to chase him down. We'll mop him up later.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think sometimes they're just like, it's just the juice is not worth the squeeze running down a motorcycle, especially on a freeway.
Yeah, something today happened, man. I was banging it pretty good, and I look down. I'm doing about 97, and I look down and I look over, and there's this like a black cop car next to me, and he's just laughing. And I just gave him a peace sign and slowed back down, and he took off. So it was all good.
See, that was cool. I mean,
Yeah.
It helps if you run across cops that ride because they get it,
Good night, Dallas.
Later, Dallas.
Later, Dallas.
Yeah.
But there's some cops out there that just hate motorcycles, and those are the guys that, boy, you just want to avoid them like the freaking plague. But I've had them, hit me, and just flash the lights, and I back off, and they're cool.
Yep.
That reminds me of Sturgis. That's the thing I hate about Sturgis is so the week before Sturgis, and every other time except for the 2 week Sturgis, 90 is 80. And then as soon as Sturgis, they back down the speed limit between Rapid City and Sturgis, they back it down. And and that's a road you just want to fly on that road. Holy cow, and they just got cops. Me and a Goldwing were 2 years ago. Me and a Goldwing were we were in Sturgis, Mexico. I don't know if you've ever been there. It's real nice. It looks a lot like Sturgis, South Dakota,
yeah.
but it's in Mexico. And
it's like Daytona, Mexico.
Yeah, exactly. They're practically next to each other. And we were just, like I said, this is like an old 90s Goldwing, but this guy, clearly he was a rig because that thing was cooking. And so we were just trucking down, and we crested a hill like before you get the Black Hills, a good little bit. And 3 cops had, I don't know, 6 or 7 motorcycles pulled over, and we were lucky that they had already filled their quota and they did not have room for us. Because they would have drilled us good. That's one of those deals where you're like, oh.
So Keith, you out of Texas?
Yeah, well, born and lived in Texas forever, but now we're based out of South Dakota, but really we're full-time RVers. So
gotcha.
So right now we're in Wisconsin, but heck, not that long ago we were over kind of close to y'all. Like we were in New Hampshire last year. We've been in California a few times. We've just been doing this for 3 years. So my wife is a travel nurse.
Yeah.
And I just work, have internet, will travel. That's me. And so
it's a good way to be.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, I worked for a different company when we started doing this, during COVID. And then they wanted me to come back 1 day a week. I said, you might as well ask me to be there 7 days a week. I ain't coming now. So I went and found another job. And I said, look, my only deal is no office time, not today, not ever. And they were like, that's fine with us. Like, great.
Gene, yeah, I'm going to try and look into that 1 year, get down to the little Sturgis in Orleans, Maryland. And PA.
Is that where it is?
Yeah. And PA, that blueberry shine was amazing.
PA, you and I need to talk. I love blueberry. I had a biker. I knew a guy who owned Pride Communications or something like that out of Kentucky or Tennessee. I don't remember now. It was years ago. I don't even know if they still have it, but he left some shine in a Nextel mailbox of blueberry. Called me up before Christmas, said you better go get it before the mailman does. But that stuff was good. Forget that.
That'd be a short route that day.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Yep. I didn't live that far from there, but I didn't waste any time though.
PA biker bought me some blueberry moonshine when I was down in Gettysburg for their bike week, and gotta tell you, it's really good. It's not all gone yet, but because it's strong, it's shine, but it's really good.
Well, I know it's not going to make it till Daytona.
No.
Is that the kind of shine that puts hair on your chest and then promptly takes it right off?
It puts it on your chest and burns it right off. It's good stuff.
No, a couple of years ago, we were at the Loretta Lynn rally, and there were some folks over there that were selling moonshine, and it was good. It was good stuff. I mean, when I say it was smooth, it's relative.
Yep.
But it was smooth as moonshine gets.
Yep. That's where I'm hoping to get to next year is Loretta Lynn's. I really want to get out to there for that. I'm going to be cool. Yeah. I'm going to be flying out, hanging out with Dallas and Penny.
Yeah, I was going to say.
And he's going to give us a bike to ride, and we're going to ride up to Loretta Lynn, spend a few days, ride back, and then I'll jump on a plane and fly home.
Yeah, I thought that was cool I had no idea her family was so into motorcycles till just like probably 2 or 3 years ago. And
Yeah, that's cool that they do
Yeah.
that.
I just
And,
found out.
Yep.
Yeah.
And, I'm doing everything I can to get to St. Louis, and I believe it's in February to the SSTL, which is the chopper show.
Oh yeah, right.
It's an indoor thing, and I really want to get out there and check out the choppers and hang out with everybody and have a good time.
You were at the last one, weren't you?
No, I was not.
Okay, who was there? Ray.
Ray was there. Monkey was there. Dallas was there.
Right.
A lot of people were. XAN was there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I wasn't.
Yeah, it's hard to keep up with you, Doctor.
Well, this year's been one heck of a busy year. I mean, we went to Daytona in March.
Right.
Then after Daytona, we went to Laconia, to Gettysburg. We got home from Gettysburg on Sunday. That Friday morning, we're on a plane to Milwaukee. So
You're hitting all the hot spots.
Yeah, it's been quite the traveling year for us, And next year, I'm backing it down quite a bit. Going to be going to Daytona,
Cool.
trying to get to St. Louis, trying to get to Loretta Lynn's. Depending on if I have a good time or not up in Catskills, it'll probably be back down in Ocean City for Bike Week.
Oh, that would be cool.
Yep.
I want to go check out that Little Sturgis because being from up in that area, I've heard about it, but I never could pin it down.
Yep. Good night, 701.
Later, bud.
But yeah, so I do have my rally plans for next year. I hope they all work out. The only one that didn't work out for me this year was going up to Americade for the day because of severe threat of thunderstorms here and up there. And I just, coming home from Gettysburg is 300 miles of torrential rain and thunderstorms and highway flooding, Who wants to ride on a sunny day when you could ride in that?
Yeah,
Exactly.
right. I mean, you can prune up and be socially accepted in Seattle.
Yeah.
Yeah, to me, like riding in the rain. Look, I've ridden in a lot. I've ridden in hail.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We got caught in hail in New Mexico this year. I've ridden coming back from a big Texas toy run. North Texas just decided to have a flash flood, and I was riding with the floorboards were underwater up there. And but here's the thing: it's one thing to get caught in it. It's another thing to intentionally just go out and ride in it for like no good reason. Like,
well, at least if you do know you have to ride in it, you can prepare, before you get on the bike. That's the only advantage.
Yep. The only thing I do is when I go to a rally, I don't care what the weatherman says, rain gear is going in the bike.
Yeah, that's
always.
Well,
unless you're like me and you have a full face helmet, but like a dumbass, you don't want to wear it, and then you get caught in a hailstorm in a beanie helmet, and then that's just no good for nobody.
Nope.
Well, I just have two. I've got cutouts on 2 trash bags. That's my rain suit.
Mm-hmm. No.
Yeah, I ain't that brave. Hey, I was going to ask you: have you guys been anywhere? Have you guys been to any of the King of the Bagger stuff at all, or check?
I've seen them, and they're pretty cool to watch because you're watching these guys take these road glides and Indians, and they're knee dragging in the corners at over 100 miles an hour, and it's really cool. I was talking. In Milwaukee, did you see the Wyman Brothers bikes and the Saddleman bikes?
Yeah.
And I was talking to the guy there, and wow, I mean, just the different setups between the Wyman Brothers, completely different setup.
Yeah.
So
they've got one coming up in Minnesota. That's only, I mean, I think it's like 4 or 5 hours for me to get there, and I
watched it in Daytona, which was a lot of fun.
Yeah. I'm gonna try. We're gonna try and be in Daytona next year. I have never been to Daytona.
What?
Well, what you need to do is I'm going to give you the 411. You're going to take your RV, correct?
Yeah.
Book at the Cackleberry.
Yes.
All right, I got to write that down.
Oh yeah.
There is live music there. There's vendors there.
Did you say cackle or tackle?
Cackle.
Okay, gotcha.
Like what a chicken does or a rooster or
I'm
something.
staying there. Monkey stays there.
Sandman, if he comes down.
Yep. Sandman stays there if he comes out. It's a great time. I'm already booked. My buddy and I are already booked. He's got a 35-foot gas pusher. And we trailer the bikes behind that.
See the gentleman that found my phone?
Yep.
I do owe him a dinner or something.
You lost your phone and your bike in the same night.
Well, the bike really wasn't lost. It knew where it was.
You just didn't know where it was.
It was right there next to Sandman's.
hey, I think there was a lot of fireball involved with those bad decisions that night.
I'm pleading the fifth.
When is there not?
It was all good time and everything ended up great. And we had a great time. Met a lot of good people, especially up at Broken Spoke. I met Dez, met the Badgers, that kind of stuff. Rode with Monkey down there. And it's just all around good time. Now I don't go down to Daytona at all in the city if I don't have to. I stay up right there on Route 1, and there's a real nice ride. Doc or whoever else will catch up to you. We'll show you an easy way to bypass a lot of 95 and come out right there at the PGA Golf area, and you can run it's pretty much a frontage road that runs all the way down through Cackleberry. And now across the street from the Cackleberry is the
Cabbage Patch.
So you got everything right there.
And the Cabbage Patch does the coleslaw wrestling. Cackleberry does the slime wrestling. And they do sell the cabbage. They do sell the coleslaw after the wrestling.
Oh man.
And a couple guys are walking around with their bags. I'm like, that's not mayonnaise in that slaw.
See, back in the day, it was potatoes.
It tastes like fish.
It was potatoes and a bunch of hay. And you girls would sit on the back of the bikes and you'd go around like, musical chairs and do that while, they also had the dirt drags. This is all like in Myrtle Beach and stuff. They do that. And then they, of course, the woman on the back trying to get the hot dog, that kind of thing.
Yep. But it's an old school style rally at the Cackleberry and Cabbage Patch is a rally within the rally.
Yes.
I got you.
And right down the road is the new Smyrna Raceway, which I missed it because I didn't know about it till afterwards. But Billy Lane does his Sons of Speed racing there, which is the old 1915 and 1920 Harleys racing around the track.
Yep.
Oh, that's very cool. We actually met Billy Lane in Milwaukee this weekend.
Did you really?
Yeah.
See, I would have loved to have met him.
It was pretty cool. We got our picture with him somewhere. I'll send it to you.
Yeah, I did meet that guy whose uncle broke the land speed record in Daytona Beach in 1937.
Oh wow. Okay, now speaking of that, now not to try and set any records or anything because I'm not going to do that, but it's on one of my bucket list things is to run a run or two on the Bonneville Salt Flats. Like I just want to take my bike and ride out there just to say I did it because I just think it's just historic, Yep. And it would just be cool to go out there where those guys have done stuff.
It's hit or miss because it all depends because it's got canceled some years due to flooding.
Right.
And it wasn't flooded that day, but the ground was just too moist that you wouldn't make a good pass. So they canceled it. So when you go and you make plans to go, you just got to hope that it's been dry and hard and it's not moist and damp and muddy.
I think that would be a recipe for disaster. I think I'll just,
Yeah. Well,
I'll take their
cool, PA.
Yeah. Congratulations, PA, for you and your wife getting your new bikes. That's awesome. Yeah, XAN's funny. He goes, "Wow, you wreck her bike and she buys you a new one."
That's a fine
good.
woman.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yep. So I would love to go out to the Bonneville Salt Flats just to see it once. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Not in this heat,
it
though.
would just be cool.
I mean, Jessie Combs, she passed away breaking her own record.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not that dedicated.
Well, she was I don't know if you know anything about Jessie Combs. She was a builder. She was a welder. She was a driver, and it just wasn't motorcycles. The motorcycles, trucks, cars. Her land speed record that she held was on a jet car for the Bonneville Salt Flats.
Oh man. Yeah, she's legitimate badass.
She was a legitimate badass. She was on a few different TV shows on Speed Channel. Now it's Hot Rod TV. Back in the day, yeah, she really was a legit badass. And there are pictures of her hanging out with people at Babes Ride Out, teaching them how to weld or just hanging out and having a good time. So not only was she a badass, she was a down the earth person that you could just walk up to and talk to.
Sounds like a good
That's
teacher,
cool.
too.
Yeah, I would have loved to learn a 16th of her welding skills because, you know, she could lay a bead. I've seen it on TV that, you know, looks like a machine did it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to find people that can do and can teach equally well.
Yes.
That's
Right.
rare.
Yeah.
And she was a big component for women in motorsports, which is understandable. And I respect her for that because she not only could talk the talk, but she walked the walk.
Hey, man, there's a lot more women, nowadays that are really into that. And I think it's cool shit. I mean,
Absolutely.
I've listened to some women talking. I'm like, oh,
My wife and I, about maybe 10 or more years ago, we went to the New York International Auto Show, and we're looking at, now we always just walk past Volvo because visually they're not appealing. But they had this one car that struck my interest. So my wife and I walked over and looked at it. And the person at Volvo says, "What would you say if I told you women designed this car?" I says, "Well, Volvo needs to hire them to design all their cars because I find that car visually appealing, which struck my interest to come by and look at it, where before I would just walk by right by Volvo and not care because I don't want a box on wheels."
right. That's the later Volvos. The earlier ones look like all rounded out, like, the old early trucks, the Chevy trucks, and, the cabs were rounded and everything. The Volvos look like that too. You get into the 60s, 70s, early 70s.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, Volvo.
I mean, how can you go wrong with that?
Yeah, you'd figure the women were making the Volvos that were the boxy ones, the ones that are all super safe.
Yeah, no, they were still super safe, but they actually had style to them.
Yeah.
Speaking of style, got my powder coating back from my Road Glide.
Oh, nice.
Doc, what's that
See,
behind?
that's a nice accent. Oh yeah.
For the envious green fade, get rid of the red and some of the black.
What's that camo behind you?
That thing?
Yeah.
It's a street glide with a wrap job that, yeah, that's all I'll say.
Hey, bud.
Hey, PA, how you doing? Congratulations on your new bike. What are you getting?
Indian.
Are you really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Which model?
We're
Polaris.
getting the Scout Bobber.
Nice. So you're getting a
Yep.
Polaris Scout
Bobber
Bobber.
60. Yeah, the 60. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good luck with your new Polaris.
Yeah. The thing of it
When
is,
I had an Indian,
what really caught my eye was for one, it's already got nice pipes on it. It's been built a little bit. It's got a tuner in it. Everything I wanted, I don't have to do myself.
So what are you going to do with your current bike?
Oh, I'm going to keep it. I mean, I'm thinking about selling it, but it's one of them, you don't get what you got into it things.
Well, yeah. You never do.
No.
We
So,
got an Indian dealership close.
it is going to be up for sale by word of mouth, So whoever, who's ever got the green gets it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
hey,
it's not something that I have to do, but it is what it is,
If someone came up with the right number, then it's sold.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Show me what you got, and if I like it, then you can take it.
Yep.
Yeah,
If not, then go piss me a shoe. I don't know what my wife's over there doing with the camera, but
Yep. Right on.
yeah.
hey, I was going to
So,
tell you, a PA biker, don't let Dr. Harley mess with you too much. I had a 20 Challenger, and my brother used to tell me all the time, "Hey, how you like your snowmobile?"
Well, I mean, let's look at it.
Yeah.
Right. The company that owns Indian is Polaris, and they're manufacturing the bike.
Yep.
So the bike manufacturers Polaris. The model is Indian. The submodel is, Scout or Challenger or whatever.
Right.
Nope. And on top of that, it's all Victory. It's all really Victory technology.
Yes, but it's still Polaris because Polaris owned Victory.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
But Victory as a whole had better technology than what they got now. Seems like.
And I thought
Well, their
Victory
style. They had great style.
had better looking bikes like that Vegas 8-ball. That was a hot looking bike. I would buy one of those in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
That was a cool bike.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Well, and remember Arlen Neth used to do a lot of work with them?
I think Polaris bought Arlen Ness.
I think you're right.
Oh, I didn't know that.
After the old man died, I heard they sold the company, and the company was bought up by Polaris.
Just to get some street cred, maybe, or
don't know.
Well, we know they'll buy her.
And yet still they can't get aftermarket support.
It helped if they had more
although
dealership.
I was about to say it helped to have more than 3 dealers in a state,
Well, in Connecticut, there's only one dealer for Indian.
And that's right here in Norwich.
Oh, so there's two then, because you got one in Danbury too.
There's one in Norwich, and then that one. We found the one in Norwich on our way because I'm still in Connecticut. We found the one in Norwich just driving down the road, and I was like, "Oh, an Indian dealer." So we zipped around, went in, and looked. It's a small place, but it's not bad,
Yeah. And
But
they need to
also
put
sell like
lights in the
BMW.
showroom. That's another complaint I got with Indian. I went in last time I walked into an Indian dealership. They didn't have hardly any new bikes.
Yeah, this most of the bikes in the one we went the other day they had a lot of new bikes, but they also sold BMW as well.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I was about to say a lot of Indian dealers are multi-line dealers for sure. I know the Woodlands, Texas, they sell BMW, Triumph, and Indian. But here's the other. Have you noted? I don't know if you go to a lot of Indian dealers are actually owned by Harley dealers.
No, I didn't know that.
So like the Dillon brothers, like in Nebraska. Yeah. So and here's the crazy thing. I can't believe Harley even, and I'm sure they're doing all sorts of stuff with different entities and stuff, right? But the Dillon brothers, if you go like in Nebraska, the Harley dealership, their Harley dealership, and their Indian dealership share the same parking lot. I mean, they are side by side. And I mean, I always thought, man, HD corporate seems like they'd be blowing a gasket over
Well, I
that.
guess
Like,
Indians
you know,
got to make something make them look good anyway.
Yeah, in Savannah,
Yeah.
where we are,
Well, it's like Battlefield motorcycles.
Yeah.
Last year they started carrying the Royal Enfield bikes, and it was Battlefield Harley Davidson. And Harley's corporate policy is for you to have a franchise, you only carry Harley Davidson. Well,
Right.
now they changed it to Battlefield motorcycles, and they carry a line of bikes and a car, but yet they still keep Harley. And I'm trying to figure out, how does Harley Davidson allow that under their corporate policy for them to carry Harley Davidson's Royal Enfield, the what is that car called?
Oh, yeah.
Starts with a V.
the Vanderhall.
Yes,
Vanderhall. Yeah.
which is a pretty cool car. You know,
Yeah, I saw one of those in Milwaukee this weekend.
I like
Yeah.
those
Yeah,
more
they're
than the
pretty tricky.
slingshot.
Yeah, I don't like the slingshot.
Well, they got a cooler style to them. The front end almost kind of looks like a Cobra, you know, like an AC Cobra.
Yep. It also reminds me of like the old, 40s, 50s roadsters,
Yeah,
Mhm.
and
they're slick.
I like that look. I think it's a very attractive car. I know they get registered as a motorcycle, but everybody who has one calls them a car, not a motorcycle.
Yeah. And you got to have a motorcycle license for them too, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it depends on the state. Some states, like even with the Polarises and everything else, I was doing some research on it, and depending on the state, they'll require you to have a driver's license or a motorcycle, or some states require you to even wear a helmet with them, and some don't.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Which gets me is because you can have a convertible four-wheeler with no helmet, but if you have a
Mhm.
convertible with three wheels, you got to wear a helmet.
Yeah.
Thank God for the government.
Yeah.
If
I
it
look
wasn't
at
for
those
them, we
ones
wouldn't be
with
confused.
Here's my beer. Watch this.
Them Royal Enfields, I thought they were pretty decent looking, Doc, when we were looking at them.
Absolutely. I even said that. It says for a standard motorcycle, you could get a brand new bike, 400, 500 cc's
Mm-hmm.
for not a whole lot of money.
Yeah.
And it's a British company that never changed their look, their style, I'd say
Yep.
from the 60s.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, if it's British, I hope it still has a Kickstarter.
No, and
They're
no
not exact-
Lucas wire.
I was about to say, British aren't exactly known for their great electronics, that's for sure.
Yep.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, what do you expect? It's a positive ground, and I've worked on a lot of Triumphs, not only motorcycles but also Norton BSAs, and then the cars. I mean, those Lucas electrical systems are just bad.
Yeah. When you got a Triumph Spitfire or another Triumph car like that, and
Oh,
your
yeah.
toolkit came with a hammer, that wasn't for the spinners on the knockoffs. That's to turn around and hit the fuel tank to get that fuel pump running again.
That's right.
10-4. Yeah. Too funny.
It was a the original multi-use tool, right?
Yeah. I mean,
You can
that's
hit
how
a lot
old
of
school
stuff.
I am.
Well, I went and changed. I went and got
Hammer
rid of
fixes
when I
everything.
built Triumph. When I built a Triumph chopper, I went ahead and I eliminated the battery and just switched everything to 12 volt with, magneto and all that, electrolytic capacitor and whatnot.
Yeah.
Of course, you have to keep your RPMs up, but if you want
I
to play.
used, early in my automotive career, I actually filled a glass jar with smoke in it, and I wrote on it Lucas wire smoke.
Break in case of emergency.
Yeah, just in case it all burns up, you don't have any left.
Right.
Hey guys, I got about 10% on my phone. I'm gonna watch you on on the
All right.
computer, but I don't have mic and camera on that. So
Yeah, we'll
you
be
guys have
ending
a good
this shortly anyways, Gremlin.
PA, great haircut, bud.
Yeah, hey, just got it done today, man.
I've been staring at it going, do I really know this guy?
Yeah, yeah. One of my sister-in-laws, and she's a hairdresser, and you know, I
He's
wear
going
my
into boot
bandana,
camp next week.
and she's like, "Your hair is bigger than your bandana." I said, "Good, cut it off." I didn't mean shave it off.
Well, what you need to do is get a haircut like Keith over here.
There you
Yeah,
go.
yeah, that's what I need to do.
That's right.
Keith, my real name's Keith too.
Oh,
Well,
wow.
you're good people.
I'm AKA asshole as per my girlfriend.
Yeah, yeah, that's what my wife says about me.
You know, but I think it's sexy because I mean, you know, every time I walk by, she's like, you know, what an ass. So, yeah.
My
All right,
wife
guys.
says,
Well,
like,
listen, you have a good evening. I'll watch you from the other side.
Take a bow.
All right,
You know,
Gremlin.
we'll be in touch. Say bye.
"Bye, later."
Later, Gremlin. Yeah, my nickname for my brother is the lovable asshole. So
The
that
lovable
tends to
asshole.
looks like it's going around.
Oh, when I'm an asshole, I ain't lovable.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Well, his other nickname is Monster. So
Monster. Yeah.
yeah. So, like I said,
Well, actually, I do. From my other club I used to ride with, that was my road name, Asshole. You know, because I would literally see someone blowing grass on the road. I would literally stop my bike and get off my bike and rip them a new ass.
see, you were born to be a sergeant of arms, right there, man.
Yeah, well, I'm married to a sergeant, so can't help it.
That's right.
We know how the military people can be, right, Doc?
No, I have no clue.
No, not at all.
You
None.
read stories.
I heard a story or two.
Yeah, yeah. That's funny. I wouldn't have it any other way, though.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. I
But,
should have did it myself.
yep.
That reminds me of my favorite club, the Booze Fighters.
Oh,
They
yeah.
have the best motto in the business. We're a drinking club with a motorcycle problem.
Yeah, yeah.
Isn't the guy who played Liquid Metal Man? He's
Yeah.
a booth fighter.
He is. He's a and check this out. So my wife and I, when we were in California, one of our last stints, we were down in LA and we decided to stop off at Glendale Harley and check them out. You know, it was around Christmas. We were going to get, because they had Santa in there. We were going to get our picture taken with Harley Santa.
Mm-hmm.
And so we walk in, we're checking out the dealership, you know, get a chip, whatever, go get our picture made with Santa. And we're walking out and I almost run into this guy. I'm like, oh, hey, excuse me, I'm sorry. And he's like, oh, no problem. And I look at him and I'm like, God dang, that guy looks familiar to me. And you know, he's in his cut, and you know, the guy's clearly on his bike, and we walk around the corner, and I keep saying to my wife, like, I know that guy. And I said, hold on, I'm gonna go back. And so I walk back, and I'm like, and I go and look at him again, and he's like, hey man, nice to meet you. And that's when I realized that's who that is. It's the guy from Terminator. You know, it's the guy from The Sopranos, and
he was also Colonel Ryan in the TV show The Unit.
Yeah, that's right. Well, it turns out he's a part owner, I think, in both Glendale and Santa Clarita Harley.
Oh wow!
So he's in neck deep, you know.
Hey, Process. Good evening, sir.
Hey, Process.
But
hey,
cool dude.
While you were up there, did you get to see Adam Sandoval give his bike away?
No.
No, he raised over $500,000.
Over 600.
Yeah.
Oh, 600. Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah, I watched.
I did see the video where he actually gave it to the guy, and the guy was like super cool.
Well, and that guy followed him through the whole time.
Yep.
Yeah, he was there a lot. Yeah, and the cool thing was, I mean, what's the amazing thing is that of all the people that signed up to win that bike, and the guy that won it, you know,
was there.
is in the audience. I mean, it couldn't have been any better.
Yeah. The guy's name was Robert Patrick.
That's it. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
He came out on the USO tour on my last deployment, and I missed seeing him because I was in Afghanistan while my unit was back in Kuwait. So
Who came out there?
Robert Patrick.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
same with Arnold Schwarzenegger came out, and I missed him. Odell Beckham Jr. came out, and I missed him. And I'm at the time he was a Giant, and I'm a Giants fan. So
yeah, me too. I lost some. Who was Arnold Patrick?
What's that?
He was.
I never heard of him. I'm sorry. Other than that night.
Yeah, he was in Terminator 2. Yeah.
Is he?
Yeah, Terminator 2, Liquid Metal Man. He was Colonel Ryan in the TV show The Unit. What else did you say he did, Keith?
He played on The Sopranos. He was the guy who owned the sporting goods store who had a gambling problem. And by the way, I mean, you'll talk about a completely different character, like from like the guy you were terrified of coming after you in Terminator 2, you know. And then he plays this guy who's like, you know, he's just, I mean, that guy's a good actor, that's for sure. But
Yeah,
super cool guy.
I never knew him, never even heard of him.
Yeah, he's a real deal rider.
Yep. So is Jason Momoa.
Yeah,
that I've heard of. Yeah.
Yep. And he's in a club, a 1% club, that is geared to indigenous people. And I'm not going to say their club on because it's not. Nope. But yeah.
Yep.
Which is kind of cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, you know, nobody on the coast, you know, if you're on the coast, it's one thing to be a rider in Dallas. You know, you're going you can kind of split the difference both ways. But if you're on the East Coast going West Coast or vice versa, I mean, you're putting in the miles, man. There's no doubt about it. Like
yeah, man.
Like I saw Robert Patrick went from he was at the it was the veterans, like the memorial ride, or I don't think it was the Vietnam memorial ride, but it was some ride that ended up in DC that he just got back from not that long ago. And then again, I don't know if he rode to Milwaukee or not, but
yeah,
some tells me
rumor had it Willie G was going to make an appearance, but nobody could tell me where and when.
I heard that, but same thing. Like, yeah, I heard that he was supposed to be around, but I never.
And I would have loved to just meet him and shake his hand, get a picture taken with him.
That would be pretty cool.
I got a friend of mine up here, who had his saddlebag signed by him.
Oh, no kidding!
Oh.
And every time he goes to a bike show and enters his bike, he wins because of that signature. Every time.
Hard to top that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like one night,
Look
my
at him
wife
on
and
YouTube.
I,
It's Ken Wise.
About almost 20 years ago, we were watching one of the car auctions. What was the name of the car auction show? We were watching it live too.
Like Meekum or something like that?
Yeah, but that's the one that's bigger than Meekum.
Barrett Jackson?
Barrett Jackson. We were watching Barrett Jackson, and a Shelby Cobra kit car came across the block in the blue with the white stripes. And the donor car that was used was a Dodge Viper. So it had the whole Viper powertrain, transmission, rear end. And Shelby was there, Daryl Shelby. And when it went across the block at 20 grand, and I wanted to bid on it, my wife's like, no, you're not going to win that. As soon as the hammer dropped, Carroll Shelby signed the dash and the white stripe on the hood. I'm like, oh my God, that car just tripled in price.
Yep.
I would have turned around, put it back on the block.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd have made some money that day. Yeah, kit car, no kit car. Those Cobras are, man, awesome.
Bob and Tim got a vid at Milwaukee with him. Wow. Willie G.
That's a big deal. That's a get.
Yeah, that's awesome. Good for them.
I saw a bunch of people got their picture taken with the old El Presidente of Harley,
Yeah.
the Swede or the Norwegian or whoever, whatever.
Yeah,
whatever
the CEO.
yeah, and but yeah, who cares?
I could care
Willie
less
G.
about him.
Yeah, Willie G would be pretty sweet.
Yes.
That's right. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That would.
Oh,
that would.
Did you
and-
see over at House of Harley? There were some descendants. There were some Davidson descendants there that were like at a meet and greet.
No. What day was that?
We went over there on Friday.
I was there Friday.
Yeah.
I got there about 4:00.
Yeah. So, oh man, we might have just missed each other because we got there probably about 1, and then we stayed like probably till 4:30.
Okay.
So
Yeah. So yeah, we just missed each other.
I got those TAC 10 Zero lights put on the
Nice.
yeah.
Nice.
Because
I'm going to be getting the Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde exhaust, the slip-on.
I've seen that.
Yeah, I heard you talking about it, and it's funny because I'd seen them, but I didn't really go pay attention to. I knew they were exhaust. I didn't know that they were the adjustable.
Yes.
I mean, you know,
it's
for the
literally
price,
push
it's worth
button
it.
to change your exhaust note.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I heard I
That's
was listening when you said that the cops pull up and say, "Hey, man, your exhaust's too loud," and you're like, "I don't think so. Turn it on." I heard you say that. I was like, "Yep, that's a good use for that."
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
What are you talking about? This is a Goldwing. Purse like
What
a
are you
kid.
talking about? It's stock mufflers. I mean, I just changed the tips. What?
Yeah, just the tips.
Now, how did they sound in person? I mean, I know the
They
microphone
sound
makes
better
it
in person than they do in the video.
Yeah.
And of course, with the flaps closed, it sounded like a stock Harley. And
Mhm.
then when you press the button and open up the flaps, it actually sounded pretty good. Not as good as Tab,
No.
which I have.
Or Reinhardt's.
which I
Reinhardt's are pretty dang loud on.
I'm not a big fan of Reinhardt, to be honest with you.
Or D&D.
How they-
I like.
Not as loud as D&D, but I would say they're a little bit louder than any S&S. Definitely louder than the Screaming Eagle mufflers.
Chromeworks.
Not as loud as Chromeworks, but they have a decent rumble.
Are they
to them.
allowed as neighbor haters?
Louder than those because Cobra Neighbor
Right.
haters, it's just
I
name.
like
They're
them.
not that loud.
Great
I
marketing.
got them on my bike, and
They're not loud.
I mean, they're okay, but I need louder. I need tabs.
Yeah.
That's what.
But if you're gonna name a pipe, it's not gonna get any better than Neighbor Haters.
Well, it's like with Tab name their handlebars,
Yeah,
Folsom Prison bars.
fall from
Yeah.
prison.
You're sitting there, behind bars. What better name to name your handlebars than Folsom Prison bars?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Oh,
that's
and by the way, can
I
you
didn't
imagine? I can see the commercial already. I hear a train a coming, and it's just a guy just riding his bike, and all you hear is roar,
yep.
and it's just that song playing kind of slowly behind that guy, just going down like I don't know, like Monument Valley or something like that.
And the guy from Jekyll and Hyde made a very good point. He says, when you're out on the highway and you're crushing miles,
Mm-hmm.
you hit it to the quiet section. You can hear your radio. You don't get the droning. You don't get none of that. You actually enjoy the ride a little bit longer. And then when you get off the highway, you're around town, you hit the button and, you're Billy Badass Biker. And I'm like, damn, that's a fucking good point. But price point, right about $3,000 for slip-ons.
That's like almost triple,
Yep.
like some pretty high dollar slip-ons.
Yep. But, when you look at the research and development that goes into it, the, manufacturing of the part.
And they go on a lot of different bikes.
Yeah.
They
Yep.
go on your bike.
Yep. They'll go on both of my bikes. They'll go on
Yeah.
Indians. They go on Triumph. They had a whole bunch of bikes that they go on.
Well, I mean, you're definitely paying for the technology. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the wow factor of that is
And
being able to on the fly.
The button, it's molded into, you can have one that's molded into your clutch perch. So it's right there on the handlebar.
Yep.
Or you can have it where it's down by your speedometer or wherever you want to put it. It's
I
pretty.
like it right there by the clutch.
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. You just reach over with your thumb and.
Yep.
Yeah, as long as it looks incognito when the cop pulls up and
What I like
once
about it
once
is
you
really
start-
plug and play too. I mean,
Yeah.
how can you go wrong? I mean, even I could probably do that. And I'm, you
I
give
think
me a
that's
wrench, I'll use it upside down.
That has to be the coolest product I saw at
Yeah.
Milwaukee. And that's why I like going to the rallies and going to the vendors, because you come across these rare and unheard of products.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I'm even thinking right now, like, man, how in the world they must insulate so the switch to you got to run wire
Well,
back
that's
there
what I
to
was
like
wondering,
open
too.
and close that baffle.
Yep.
And then you're like, that's got to be pretty heavy duty insulated to
Yep. Because of
Yeah.
How do
weather,
you, like,
washing, and
right. So just the
go
cost
from
of
the
making
quiet
that
to the
happen.
loud?
yeah.
Mm.
Then you have the
I mean,
wires
that's
going
just-
to the actuators, into the mufflers, which got to be insulated and then heat insulated.
Right.
Are you getting a pair, Doc?
He says he's going to be sending me a pair.
Nice.
That-
I hope
Doing
you-
a partnership
I hope
and everything, and we'll see how it goes.
so. Yeah.
That'll be some good content right there. Because
Yeah,
that is,
definitely.
I mean, a lot of the stuff is like, look, there are 3 or 4 ways, right, that you can vent the pressure on your MA. There's 17 pipes, period, right? But that's legit new technology,
Yep.
something different. Like that's something where like, all right, I'm gonna pay attention to that.
Yeah, and I don't know if you saw the video today. It posted today at noon of just House of Harley, because that was 30 minutes long, that video, after I cut out all the fat.
Mhm.
And
Right.
you know,
There's a lot going on.
yeah, and I had to go back there again to look at them and talk to them, because I was so impressed by that product.
Yeah.
And it's shocks are shocks.
Right. Even bars. I mean, look, they may be a little different size, they may be a different shape, but they do the same thing. They turn left, they turn right.
Yep.
Yep.
Hey,
X-Man
speaking
saw
of,
it,
hey,
Evil
before
Rick
I
saw it.
forget, I wanted to ask you, Doctor, what did you sit on the? And I don't know. For all I know, you might have ridden the new CVO.
I have not ridden it, not at all. I would love
Did
to.
you? I sat on it at House of Harley, and again, you don't know a lot, but here's what I do know. They said they lost 36 pounds on the road glide, and I think 30 or 31 from the street glide, maybe. But I've got a 21 road glide, and when I picked that CVO off the Jiffy stand, this is my opinion. It was 25% of the effort that I used to take. And I'm not a small, I'm 5'11", 215. So I'm not a monster, but I'm not a
little guy
lightweight
either.
Yeah. And it was easy, significantly easier. So that tells me it's not just 36 pounds. They lowered the center of gravity on that bike. They had to afford to come off the stand that easy compared to what
yeah.
Sometimes I think, man, I need to go to the gym more, because there are days when you're like, you take that thing off and you're like, okay.
That's when I grab the handlebars. I turn it the opposite way, and okay.
Yeah, that's what I do with my bike. My dresser. It's like I gotta turn the handlebars the other way just for it to come up, because it's just like, ugh,
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah,
how
that
I blew my
bike-
shoulder out, man.
It
I was
was
parked
it
on a
was
hill.
it was slick. And
Yeah, I saw the new CVOs at the new product display at the museum. If you look when you came down the roadway to the museum, it
Yeah.
was the building to the far right.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
And there I was talking to a lot of engineers and guys who work testing, the Harleys and at the test tracks and things like that. And I must have spent a good hour and a half, 2 hours talking with them. One of the subjects was get rid of the plastic. I know it comes down to pennies, but if you got rid of those tappet cuffs and put in aluminum ones, let's say it costs Harley
Huh.
$40 to produce 1,000 of them to build,
Yeah.
500
At scale.
motors, and then
Yeah.
you up the price of the motor $100 and says the price has gone up because we made it more bulletproof. People will absorb that in the community. And I even said to them, look, I understand I am not Harley Davidson corporate's customer.
Right.
I understand that. I am
Right.
the dealership's customers. The dealers are Harley Davidson corporate customers. But the guys on the street that ride these things, this is what we'd like to see. And I says, and I know corporate hasn't seen it with the warranties because the
Right.
bikes that are falling out of warranties is when these things are breaking. And now
And,
they're
and how
buying.
about a billet compensator race, right? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I replaced all that, like all my internals or like all that stuff it's all S&S. The only thing stock on my motor now is the transmission, which from what I understand, third gear, because I've got a built up 131, right? And
Well, here's the thing about
I
the
keep hearing third
131,
gear goes.
right? You buy the Screaming Eagle 131, you would expect
Excuse
that
me
all
1
the
minute,
internals
gentlemen.
would be Screaming Eagle.
Right.
And they're not. Cam plate oil pump, not Screaming Eagle. It's the same cast garbage you
Right.
get in all the other bikes.
And to your point, why? I mean, money wise, it's not exactly like CVO guys or like pension, like are gonna like argue over $100, like you said. I mean,
Right. Or
especially
how
if you
about
can
the guys
justify it.
buying the 131s, are spending 7-8 grand on a motor.
Right.
Why not give them the best Harley has to offer?
Yeah. But yeah, that's the part where I'm telling you, Harley corporate just loses me. And I'll tell you this, I'll be the first guy to tell you, I think I made a mistake. I would not. This is my first CVO. I would not buy another CVO.
See, I'm on the opposite end of you. I love my CVO. If I ever get another bike,
don't get me wrong. I love it, but I would buy a special, and I would have Hamptons or Fury or somebody like that build me a bike off of a standard or a special.
Yep.
And
Hell's made a good point. Back cut the gears and crown dip them. And
why would you want to bulletproof a motor?
I don't know. My 131 is bulletproof.
No, I will say this. Mine, I've got. So I just did my 35K service on. The bike just turned 24 months old, and it's been a 131 since day one. And I had it built before I ever picked it up, and I haven't had one lick of trouble.
Yep.
Out of it.
Yep. I got rid of all the bolts on the internal, for like the rocker arms, the cam plate, the oil pump, and it's all ARP studs in there now. I put in roller rocker arms. I put in a big cam. I put in semi-solid lifters. Everything I did to that motor made it bulletproof.
Right. Well, that's what I told him. Like, I mean, so and look, I know, we can badmouth moonshine. I'm up for that too. But so
I met him there.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, I saw him there at the Screaming Eagle race team.
He was my salesman, Jamie.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing.
I wanted to say to him, hey, hellson2wheels says hello, but I'm like, no, I'm not going to open up that can of worms and get him another cease and desist letter. But that would have been hilarious.
Well, let me tell you this. So I bought my bike at Great South in Georgia, and by the way, super cool dudes, good guys. But I then had Moonshine do, like, I put their header, their pro stock header. They did all the recluse clutch, all the internals got swapped. I put their cam, and so and like I said, it's good. But I've got some friends that are kind of in the business, and they've had dealings with him. And again, maybe I'll get a cease and desist, but I'm not going to name any names. But I can tell you, some stuff has been relayed to me. I think James kind of a jackass, to be honest with you.
He is.
So,
He is.
and I was a customer. And by the way, they didn't treat me bad, but I mean, just stuff. I mean, just be cool, man. That's all. Just be cool.
Yeah. Well, you know what? He's consistent.
Yeah, that's good and bad, ain't it? Although it is, look, I'd rather somebody show me, you know.
Yeah.
You know, if you're a decent person, let me know you're a decent person and continue to be a decent person. If you're a jackass,
Continue
please
to be
let
a
me know.
jackass,
Yeah, it just helps.
you know. But
Got to weed the garden.
yep, I met him, and you know, I was sitting there talking to the guy at the Screaming Eagle race team, and he walks up and interrupts me while I'm talking to him, and
Shocking.
I continue talking. As you mind, I was talking. I'm like, yeah, so was I. Yeah, you're not going to intimidate me. I don't give a shit who you are or how much money you have or any of that. I don't care. You're going to treat me with respect? I'll treat you with respect. You're going to disrespect me? I'm not going to, I'm not going to show you any love. It's that simple.
Right. Well, it's an old adage, right? Give respect, get respect.
Well, I also go on the adage of, you treat me right, I'll treat you better. You treat me bad, I'll treat you worse.
Right.
That's where that comes in.
What is that? Oh, yes. Well, yeah. Take a penny, give a nickel, right?
Yep. Yep. Well, I'm actually going to be ending this because it's 4 minutes to midnight for me, and I got to go to work in the morning.
All right, brother. It was
Thanks,
nice talking
Keith,
to
for
you.
coming on. PA,
bet,
thanks
man.
for coming on. Hells, thank you for coming on, and Jake too, and everybody in the side chat. Thank you for taking part in this journey tonight. Talking about H2 Performance and then the after show. I had a great time, and until the next one, everybody, live the best life you can, ride often, and ride hard.